waiting for Gaz, but he should be along relatively shortly. In the meantime, we shall recap as we enter into session 4 and possibly the final session of Aysle, Reign of Fire. So you were all gathered in London around Trafalgar Square on the morning of the invasion. Some of you transformed, one of you didn't. You rescued schoolchildren and tourists and beat a dragon and the minions of the Dark Lord rising from below. You returned to, or some of you returned to the forgot the place, National Gallery. That was the one, only to find that it itself had been subject to some raiding from within. Certain items had been taken, and among the things that were taken after your arrival was one of the young charges of Miss Jamie Larkin, who was accompanying the tour of school children from her school who were coming to the National Gallery today to see an exhibition on fantasy art. You followed the trail of the absconded Miss Amelia deep beneath the National Gallery, where it would seem tunnels had been formed, either carved or blasted through. You made your way down these tunnels under Trafalgar Square, through the destroyed remnants of Charing Cross Station, deeper and deeper until you found your way to a chamber that had been entirely webbed by these Nikibrid creatures that were large, sort of man-sized spiders with almost humanoid faces. You managed to wheedle your way out through the appropriate exits and then continued further down. Travelling downstairs and then a rope that dangled down into darkness, you then also discovered some of your quarry had decided to stop for a while to torment a dwarf warrior who was stuck holding a deadfall trap up over her head, preventing it from crushing her wounded elven companion. You made short order of the lurks who had stayed behind, despite almost all of you being cowed into submission by their leader, one Rakaya. Bell was able to steel himself against the dark force that was in this creature's malefic words and bolted him soundly in the back, and the creature went down, face down into the rocky dirt with smouldering wounds rising from his back. The dwarf introduced herself as Turek. Her and her elven companion, who is now you've left behind and is making his own way, were in these tunnels looking for a dwarf seeker of Turek's clan. There was some conversation about who she was. Words were mentioned, names were mentioned. Some you might have understood, some you didn't. Friendships were forged, grudging in some cases and welcome in others. And she has basically agreed to follow you, and you were making your way onwards from the encounter with the lurks. The corridor that Turek and her elven companion Nurin had come through is blocked by the deadfall trap, so you were going to go back the other way and then continue down the northern fork of the corridor you found yourself in. And that is where we left it. Your combat is finished, so as we were mentioning before, all of your cards should be removed from your action pool and put back into your hand. If you've got more than 4 cards left in your hand, then you should discard down to 4. If you've got less than 4 in your hand, tough, you don't get any new ones just yet. And we do have a Gaz. Just haven't heard anything from him yet. Yeah, he's connected, but no sound yet.
Did we actually find out what this person was that I lightning bolt was?
Oh yeah, well you did. He was a lurk. He just appeared to be a slightly more physically impressive leadership specimen.
Okay.
So they're basically debased humanoids, not smaller, just having lived underground, they're slightly less stocky than normal humans. A couple of you found some items of note. I believe that 2 of you found blue vials of liquid. Can anyone remember what they were? I believe that Pat and Constable Caudry found one of these each.
Right, some sort of...
I believe upon determining what they were, you donated them to somebody else.
a magic potion or something?
Yeah, the blue vials, magic favored Persine. I got 2 of those.
Yep. Essentially, you can down this, and for the remainder of any given scene, it means that your magic skills, be they religion for miracles, or conjuration, apportation, alteration, divination for magic, become favoured. And favoured means when you roll, if you roll badly, you can choose to roll again and take the second roll instead. And I believe there was another...
A scroll of fireball or something.
That was earlier on, and there was another item found on Rakaya. And I believe that Chris Larkin has those. There was a pair of fine leather boots.
So I will hand the vials to Belle. I guess it's the best use for them.
Oh, sorry, you're giving me the potions?
Yeah.
What will the potions do again?
There you can copy them.
Yeah, they're elixirs of magic. Makes all your magic skills favoured for the rest of a scene.
That's where you throw 2 dice and you pick.
Yeah, Gaz can't be heard for some reason.
There are 2 of those.
Okay.
Oh no, my husband doesn't have a voice.
Well, he does. You just have to read it. You have to pay attention to him, which is probably worse.
Well, if you checked it earlier, you would have known. Or he's vanished.
Yeah, he's going to reconnect probably. Probably going to do the whole making sure he's running it as an admin.
I've noticed a few people have problems with Discord.
So, Turek marches out of the chamber and heads towards, in fact, I think she already has, heads towards the corridor ahead, realizes no one's following her, stops and turns around. It's like, are you lot coming?
This is another interesting question. How can you tell a dwarf is a female?
She's used the feminine pronoun when referring to herself.
Okay.
But you are correct. In her armour, which is literally full body armour, it's plate mail.
Hello?
It looks... Hello, Gaz, we can hear you now.
Yay. For me.
Yeah. But there's no obvious feminine attributes to the armour. It's not like Wonder Woman style breastplate, emphasis on the breast. It's just form, function. Obviously, there's some pipes and bits going to containers that are on her back, and you know that there's at least one nozzle on her left hand, which seems to be a flamethrower.
Also, it could be a trans dwarf. Don't judge.
Could be. Although, that's probably an element of the social axiom.
Yeah.
Which probably means it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because that's quite a modern one, I suspect.
Can you be favoured more than once?
Can you be favoured more than once? You can, but it wouldn't make any difference. Because you wouldn't be rolling again and then rolling a third time. It's just you are favoured for a particular roll.
Does it extend the duration or anything?
On that one, it's going to last a scene anyway. I like that, yeah. Pat asked out of character. Are you asking yourself, does the beard match the drapes?
Or is that not correct?
It's not correct. I believe the actual axiom is, does the curtain match the carpet and that sort of thing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Does the carpet? The carpet match the drapes. Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm not a native speaker.
It was a good stop, though.
Okay, so can everyone see the map at the moment?
Nope.
Okay, that's probably why. I'll share it again.
Yay.
Share sheet. And then sync client view. So Turek is over here, stood over the still steaming slightly body of Rakaya, the Lurk leader. I think most of you have probably actually come out to this point of the corridor because, as I said, at least two of you searched the bodies, so to speak.
Yeah, they were so fast pushing past me after I killed them just to loot that corpse. Unbelievable.
The annoying thing, you loot the corpse, but you don't have the appropriate drama cards. You find nothing, but somebody else looks afterwards, and it's there. The weirdness. So, the corridor stretches to the north, goes down a series of relatively rough-hewn stone steps.
We came from the south.
You
so
came from the south.
To
The spider room
down there.
is
So
behind
let's go
you,
north.
up a rope, and then on a ways behind a door that you've blocked.
I've forgotten. Which one of you uses our tracker to go ahead? Because it's not me. Come on, get your droopy. Yeah, let's go.
It's
The
not me.
wizard here needs protection.
Definitely
Oh.
silence.
Chris has been doing tracking before
Because it was
now.
my survival.
It was your survival. Jamie has got facility with traps and locks that it would seem she is capable at. Sean, you were in the sort of advanced troops of your Afghanistan stint. So.
I'm the meat shield, is what you're saying. All right, I'll go first.
No,
then.
you've just got. I mean, admittedly, probably not any much activity. These don't tend to be Taliban tunnels that you're in at the moment. But
In my experience, it's the rogue goose first to spot all the traps. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
Which one uses the rogue?
well.
By the way,
That would be
I'm saying this.
Mustaka.
I'm saying this in character, just in case you're wondering.
Well, Bell is the gamer, so he's allowed.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by rogue, but I'll scout ahead. If it means we can move on and catch our quarry.
That's form into a line.
Well, marching order's not necessarily a relevant thing. Jamie can move quite happily to the front. Turek nods towards you as you go past. Obviously, she knows the score in these situations. So,
Sure, it matters if someone stands in the trap right beside me. So let's head north then. Does someone want to roll stuff, things, and find things?
well,
Fine roll.
Jamie moves ahead. So anybody can make a find roll if they wish to.
Just a general find roll for what we're looking at.
I think we're trying to spot when traps or people trying to ambush us, usually.
What's fine come off? Spirit?
Comes off mine.
Mind. Oh.
I've written it down on my character sheet what they come off now.
Yeah, I'm not spotting then.
I got a 15, so I probably found something.
Okay. Wait until everyone gets through.
13.
Well, do I need to do a find? Because I don't think that would be part of my job. So.
Well, it's up to you if you want to. I'm just removing the Cosm cards that people use at the end of the last game, because Loot the Body and Look What I've Found had both been used. Wow, we haven't got any Cosm cards left.
Yeah, a lot of them were old ones.
I know one of them, which I'm having to keep track of, was a slightly different one. Didn't somebody have the one about traps? No, apparently not, because it's still in it's still in there. It was Face Me. All right, Fickle Magic's the one that's still outstanding.
Someone not play Fickle Magic?
Yeah, it gets played immediately when it comes out. Play immediately when drawn. The first player character who rolls a mishap while casting a spell has the opposite of the intended effect instead.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be the Paladin, Priest, whatever they are.
Priest could do it. It's still magic. Right,
Could
so
be an enemy character.
it could be an enemy character. Jamie's at the front, so I need to know her result first. You rolled a 4, so it didn't get particularly good. What's your total, Kerry?
It's plus 9, so
That reminds me, I need to open that little bar thing.
Yeah, I'm just doing that as well. Doink. There's the bar.
3, I mean.
Yeah, so a 4 is a -6, so you get a 3. Okay, yeah, you're not seeing anything particularly. Constable Caudry and Sean, can I have your total? Your following.
13.
15 and 13, all both good enough. Right. Jamie gets to about here, and you are following behind. And it must be that one of you is holding the torchlight, because Jamie's moving along relatively cautiously, but both of you notice that the section of corridor that she has moved into, that you have not yet moved into, appears to have a very light green fog that's being high-lit in your torchlight. You both note this at the same time and look down to see the green fungus on each side of the trail that it would appear Jamie has been disturbing as she's moved through.
Whoa, Jamie!
Right.
Careful, there's something fungusy.
What skill would that be to recognize it? Yeah, gosh, got to science. No.
A survival skill from anybody native to Aysle would be useful, or scholar from anybody.
I'll do scholar.
Nope.
Okay, it's obviously not something that you've encountered, and possibly not something Constable Caudry's encountered either. Well, maybe.
I got a 11.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. You said I could
Oops.
use my thing, so I'll use a possibility to get it down to 3 before we do this reset.
Was that a whoops because you rolled better than you thought you were going to, Alexander, or a whoops because you rolled at all?
No, it was a whoops because I
Drag and drops, yeah.
I drag and drop the text.
It's plus 19. I got 19. Sorry.
Was that counting that as a 10, don't forget? 22.
Yeah, I
Possibility
did
counts at
22.
the minimum 10, yeah?
8 plus 11 is 19.
Okay. Obviously, somebody calls out something. Belle, you look ahead of you, and an intake of breath as you quickly reach into your pack and pull out your book that you've been carrying with you, that is looking less and less like an RPG rulebook and more like some kind of encyclopedic tome. And you skip through and you start identifying it. At this point, what is... there's been a certain amount of commotion. What is Jamie doing?
She'll stop and look around and find out where the commotion's coming from.
Okay, well, people have mentioned about mushrooms around you, but lo and behold, you look down and yeah, there are indeed mushrooms. At that point, she probably notices the fact there do appear to be spores in the air around you.
Oh, hold my breath.
Okay, please give me a... Ooh. I was about to say toughness, but they don't have toughness in anymore. It's a strength check to hold your breath, strangely enough. I'm assuming that's less than 10.
That's 3.
Okay. Belle, you look through, you get as close to these things as you feel comfortable with, which is probably a good 4 or 5 feet away, and manage to find what you think they are in your encyclopedia. And there's a long scientific sounding name, but essentially they're called coughing mushrooms. The spores are inhaled, and they are called coughing mushrooms because they do indeed make you cough. Not uncontrollably, unless you get a real big sort of like lungful of them. But it does create a tickle in the throat, which does mean you will cough quite regularly, probably for about, according to your book, the next 3 to 6 hours. And
Okay.
you look up at Jamie, who now has got a sort of a hand clasped over her mouth, and almost as if your confirmation of it, you look up and Jamie goes under her hand.
Right, everyone move away from these mushrooms because the fire is coming.
Oh, you're going to use a fireball.
I am going to use a fireball.
What if they don't burn?
I am going to use a fireball.
I'm assuming, are you going to allow Jamie to get out of these waves?
I give him. I says, everyone move away from the mushrooms. I'm going to use a fireball. That was my warning.
Yeah.
Is he moving?
There's several reasons there to move away from the mushrooms.
Still standing up there.
That's okay. You can go ahead and use your fireball, whether she's stood there or not. She's not stood there, is basically. Essentially, Kerry, until this passes through your system, you're essentially very stymied on stealth checks.
Nice. You're also hit with a fireball.
I don't hit it for a fireball. This is actually really bad unless I do a possibility.
Well, hang on. We have to double check this.
It does
Now
the
it's a
opposite.
mishap on a 1.
Oh,
Is it also a mishap on a 2?
you're gonna burn yourself.
Spells don't mishap on 2 though.
Well, they may
Only
do.
1.
Fails regardless, right?
It depends. But worth double checking these things when we go there. Spell statistics, yada 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 yada
Oh, I forgot
yada.
my printout. Where's my?
Right, so you suffer 2 shock on a failure anyway, which I think that would be at the moment a failure.
That's what I'm trying to work out. Should I use a possibility to get it out of the failure bit? I'll do it. I'll use a possibility. Just because it's. I don't want to lose my shock. Oh, I can. No, I can't heal my shock. Yes, no, I can't. Very confused math. Right, that's 15 plus 2. It's 17. It's 4. Conjuration. That's 18. So let's see the mushrooms move out of that.
Just so you know, a mishap is a natural roll of 1 on the first die roll when testing a skill or attribute total. Some situations might expand the range of mishaps, such as a 1 to 2 or even a 1 to 4, which may add extra consequences to the mishap. However, magic, it's only on a 1 in the current circumstance.
You can let us know when it happens too, because we're
Yeah.
going to be learning.
Yep. So you back away, you aim, you briefly fumble, but then recover, and the ball of fire, as before, arcs its way down the corridor, hits the ground where you placed it, expands out, and you do note there is a significantly blue tinge to the edge of the flames as it burns away the mushroom spores within a certain area. And you're pretty certain the next 30 or so feet of corridor is clear.
Okay, so we've cleared those 4 squares, or is it a big line of squares? Because I can't remember how this thing works again.
It's the corridor that you can see is currently cleared.
Right. Pop
And
up.
as the flames die down, from somewhere within the party, there's a
Okay,
as Jamie's tickly cough gets tickly.
just a warning: these mushrooms will make you cough for, I think it's 6 to 7 hours. So if you want to pop up and make sure you don't breathe anything in, and see if there's any more mushrooms up there. Thank you.
Well, since Jamie's already got the cough, maybe we should just send her just to do a bit more scouting.
Yeah, it's not like the cough can get better. Sorry, worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
I've
might
seen
give us
old
away.
films. I've seen old films. Whenever somebody coughs, they die. All those old Victorian things, you know. Whenever you've got an old period drama,
Well, that's Chris. That comment: period drama, films, Victorian.
all right.
It's all giving you a bit of a. I mean, you mentioned it, but
Has
it's
that
giving you
memory? Have those memories gone away then?
it's a bit of a headache. You can remember them, but it's like knowing what a car is, but not knowing how a car works, even at the most basic level. It tends to give you a bit of a migraine. But as a Storm Knight, you can get away with it, but it's still a bit weird. So is Jamie volunteering further to be the canary in this particular tunnel network?
I guess maybe if someone's got a cloth, she can put it in front of her face.
I think she's already put some. You'd already put something over your face, hadn't you?
She would have volunteered, but Bell is being really obnoxious, so just glare at him and say, "Well, why don't you go first then?" I mean, I'm in
To
no.
prepare myself for the next cleansing of the mushrooms, it's a very, very taxing job.
Well, I'm not going first.
I'll go first.
Hear me coming. I'm coughing.
I'll move to the front. I'll go first.
That's awfully noble of you.
I'm following you with my mouth covered.
I'll bravely venture forward, not coughing, trying to sneak if possible.
While you're moving forward as well, Turek does move to the front of the group, although she isn't volunteering to go any further forward, and you think that might be because you all heard her making her way toward the front of the group. She is quite clanky. Okay, Sean, give me a find check, and I'm assuming that Pat, are you carrying some kind of light?
Yes, I cover my mouth with one hand, and with the other one I carry the torch.
There's a flaming light illuminating around. You can clearly see the burned remnants covering this section of the corridor. You get to that turn, and you can see that there is a fork, or sort of a full crossroads in the corridor ahead of you. However, the difference is, you see the black area to the top right?
Yeah.
That's where the tunnel actually just dips away into darkness. So you've got stone on three sides, but then the corridor itself is actually open to that northeast section.
It's awfully
Continuing?
dark up here.
It's extremely dark. Luckily, you've got Pat carrying a torch.
Oh, you get a bit closer.
Okay, you can just about start to see the corridor to your south has evidence of mushroom growth, and it does bend slightly to the east. And the light you can see illuminates ahead and what you can see of the corridor to the left. Well,
What are them damn mushrooms down there?
the one thing you are seeing, I mean, this section, as you step up, Sean, you can see it curls around, and you can see the rock heading downwards, but you just peer over the edge, and it is just dipping down, 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 down into just pitch black. Further away from where you're stood, you can't actually see anything further to the northeast than the little outcrop that you see there. Give me, both of you, that is Pat and Sean, both give me find checks, please. Okay. You notice nothing else untoward. Sean, give me a survival check as well.
Wait, I use a possibility just in case.
Okay, on your find, cool. Sean's survival.
Ah,
That
jeez.
means it counts as a 10, don't forget, so that takes it up to a 17.
Okay, 17. So, it was a plus 17 is 4. Find is mind. That's 12, 13.
Okay, and Sean, what was your survival skill?
It goes off
Mind, I believe.
mind. In that case, 13.
13, because you got a +5 from your survival roll. Well, the first thing that Sean notices is on the rocky outcropping to your immediate left, i.e. the bit that goes up on the corridor that heads off to the north, you can see a smear of blood, the same sort of smear that Chris has been following up until now. So you're pretty certain that if the lurks that you're following are the ones that have got Amelia, they went north at this junction. And Pat, your ears, you're making out a very echoing, but you can hear a faint, low, you could only call it a chanting, coming from away in the darkness. And when I say faint, it's literally an echo of an echo of an echo.
Do you hear that?
I don't hear nothing here.
Yeah, Sean, you're shell-shocked and damaged hearing. You can't hear a thing that she's saying out. But Pat, the more you listen, the more you can hear it, and it sets a chill in your soul. You've never encountered anything like that before. It's a feeling you've never had before.
So which way was that from?
It's coming from the depths beyond.
So
The big black area?
or what?
You would say the big black area, but you haven't got any location yet. This section, as more people come up, you can see that it's a ledge, essentially, and this ledge follows the big black area around to the east, but to the north, the big black area turns, and that is the direction that the blood trail would indicate. But as you bring your torch around, you can see the telltale sign of these mushrooms growing on the either side of the ledge.
More mushrooms over here. But this sound from the deep really gets to me. I look for Chris and hold his hand.
Chris is nowhere to be seen. Chris has
Okay.
stayed at the back.
Oh.
He seems to be having a chin wag with the dwarf and chatting
I
up
mix it
the
up
thief.
with the constable. Okay, then I'm standing here just shivering.
Then Chris turns up at the last minute, not realising why he's in trouble.
So it doesn't make any difference then being a bloke in a fantasy world.
Not particularly, not when
Damn
marriage
it.
is on the line. But yeah, you can tell Pat seems to be spooked about something.
It's boom time.
What's wrong, love?
This chanting I hear, it's
What chanting?
I don't know. It's really
Make a fine check, Chris.
It comes from down there.
Bonus number of an 8.
+2, so 10 plus 17.
Okay. You strain your ears, listening to the complaint of your newlywed spouse, and you're just about able to hear, just on the edge of your hearing, this rhythmic chanted sound, when any attempts to hear anything else are just drowned out by the explosive roar as fire cleanses the ledge to your west, leaving Bell standing there looking pleased with himself after having cleared the ledge away.
What the hell was
But
that?
there was a bit of a roar ringing in your ears now, Chris, because you were sort of really concentrating on the quiet. But you did hear it.
Could you tell which way it was coming from? Sorry.
Just off, away in the darkness.
From the right.
From the right.
Well, it's a
Or-
bit difficult. It's not from the right. It's off in the darkness, off the map. The
Okay.
darkness continues, and it's just echoing.
I wonder, people, are you telling us this noise thing?
I think you've probably picked up on it because Pat's been quite.
I wonder
Yeah.
what would happen if I cast a fireball downwards and we watch the light go down. Would it show us what's down there as it goes down? But then it might hit friendlies, and then that would be bad.
Give it a try.
I was asking the others first.
Can you cast a light rather than a fireball, so it's not an aggressive thing?
No, I can't cast the light.
Whoa, Pippin. Hold your fireball.
Who? Is that another lover of yours?
He said Pippin.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
something I
who?
remember from another life.
Perfectly
You've had another
appropriate comment.
life. Who is?
That's a perfectly appropriate comment. You would remember such tales, but you're having trouble differentiating them from fiction and reality.
Something tells me that would be a really bad idea.
Are you hearing
In fact,
voices?
Pat, you can have a possibility for that. I liked that.
Can we push somebody off?
Yeah, I'm thinking about pushing them off too.
So
right.
does
We can-
dungeon logic apply to this dungeon?
We can throw Bell down and
You can
he...
try.
Yeah, does Bell light up if we throw him down?
Well, blooming lightning bolt you as you go down.
But his robes.
Everyone's now grouped up at this point, and Turex like looking around, going, "So, are we going to continue on, or are we standing here listening to the echoes?"
Did you not hear the noises they heard?
No, I can't
Yeah.
hear anything in this. And she goes dong 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 on the tin can that she's got as a helm.
Does anyone want to scout ahead still? Because I just cleared the mushrooms.
Well, there are
Hopefully you
several
haven't got
options.
rid of the evidence, but there you go.
I want to get out of here. Away
We'll
from
go
this
then.
place. Don't feel comfortable around here with this chanting.
Husband and wife skipping through the burnt mushrooms hand in hand.
I'm wondering if the kid breathed in these mushrooms, we would hear a lot of coughing when we get close to her, wouldn't we?
If she did, then that is a reasonable assumption.
Or
Unless, of course,
still
she's being
chanting.
led through by those that know the ways of the underground.
I'm just going to quickly see what's down to the north and then east. So.
Well,
South.
to the north, there's
Right
the
on.
little. It literally is a promontory of rock.
So south and then east.
You're heading south. Okay, while they're heading that way, if you want to give me a quick dexterity roll. Acrobatics, if you've got it.
Nope. So that puts me at 8.
Okay, strength check, please.
So 9.
Okay. You try very carefully to make your way around, and as you turn the corner to see what's essentially a small cavern, your cape or whatever you're now wearing cannot help but brush against some fungus on the wall behind you, and you turn and get a face full of spores. You are also very stymied on stealth checks for the foreseeable,
But is
as
there
you are
anything like,
as coughing. No, it's an empty chamber.
so no dungeon logic then.
Oh, I see what you meant by dungeon logic there. Right, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, around to the northern way, the corridor is blocked by a growth of fungus. Not too wide that you wouldn't be able to step over, but that would obviously be with some risk.
Wait for Bell.
What's happening?
There's
There's
a
another.
big patch up ahead.
Oh, God.
Stretches right across the.
I just
the
feel
path.
you just use me for my spells.
We are. You're right. At least you know that.
So close. Twice now. So close.
I am not using a possibility on that, so that's going to be a fail.
Is it a fail? Take 2 shock. He
Thank you,
concentrates briefly and projects, and nothing happens.
Did I hear a little fart then?
I did tell you it's very, very. It's very tiring using these spells. Let me just gather myself and cast it again.
Are we waiting?
Hey, stop making fun of my casting. You distract.
I was saying WOM then. Not. I realised it sounded like
Quick
one.
AFK.
12.
I believe the difficulty for the spells are 14, or am I wrong on that?
The difficulty of the spell isn't 14. It's dodge or dex. It's there to dodge or
Yeah,
dex.
but there's no dodge or dex involved here.
Does that mean they can't dodge it or move out of the way so it actually hits?
Well, it would do, but I'm going to say in this instance that your minimum requirement on this one is the skill that you need to actually be able to cast Fireball.
14?
No, that'd be unfair because that means it's harder to cast against a stationary target. It's a minimum. Difficulties would have been a 10, which you managed to do. So the Fireball again goes down, hits as the raucous blast of flame. A couple of you now are paying more attention to the area around now that you're used to these bright bursts of light. You can see beyond. The corridor does continue.
Demushroomed now.
Entirely demushroomed. It does actually continue significantly off to the north, outside of the range of the blast of the fireball, and the light of the fireball doesn't illuminate anything visible beneath to the north either. So whatever is down there is further down than the light of the fireball allowed. Who's going first?
Well, you know who's not going first, so.
Yeah, I know who not going.
Neither of the coughing people. Wife and husband again then? We're there, I think. I think she's AFK, but we'll go skipping.
Okay.
I noticed you're now saying wife and husband.
Yep. The Larkins
Husband
skip
and wife.
forward. Okay, just so I know, which Larkin is on the wall side, which Larkin is on the chasm side. So who's left, who's
Damn
right?
you. Well, I suppose the wife is always right, therefore she has to be on the right. So I'm on the left.
That's very gentlemanly of you. That's the equivalent of making your wife's walk on the roadside of the pavement, so she gets splashed first.
Okay, I'll walk next. I'll walk on the other.
Well, you're American, so I don't know what American sidewalk logic is. I'm just talking about pavement logic, but
I will walk on the edge.
They're always reverse of us, so you know.
I was just
okay.
using right or left. I wasn't using.
Yeah. Can you please make me a? Yeah, you can find quite a lot of spots, so it's going to be a find check. This one.
I thought you were going to make a slip roll.
Woohoo!
Slip roll.
Tell us what your total is.
650.
Back.
I think.
Okay, Pat, can you make a find check as well?
Sure, can
Yeah,
do.
15.
Yeah, forget it.
You not
Although,
bother coming back.
I will use the possibility that I
Okay.
just earned. 17, right?
There's a gap in the wall there. Look, I can see it.
There is
that's
a
not-
gap in the
That's
wall.
15 plus 7, which is 22.
15,
It's only a 10 if it's below 10.
okay. Okay, so it's a 7 plus is 15, 16.
Okay, you can both. You don't know which one it's going for, but you can both, because you made the find check, you can both make an active defense roll, which, if you have a weapon out, which I believe both of you do, is a melee weapon
Hell
check.
yeah. Okay, melee weapon. It's not melee defense, just melee weapon.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, it'd be your melee defense, because melee defense is your dex plus your melee weapon.
Oh yeah. Okay. Keep forgetting these things are all.
Is
Into-
this where we're meeting people? Is this a situation awareness thing?
It depends. It might become a situational awareness thing. It depends on the reaction at this point.
Jesus.
So a 24 for Chris.
19 in total.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your melee defense is now 19.
Possibility.
That's at least a 10, so that's a 19. That's a plus 6 for you.
19 Plus 6, and my defense is. Oh, yeah, it went down the other day, right?
Yeah, because your strength went down permanently because you were almost killed.
I have defense 10.
So that's a 16 for you.
16, right?
Oh, hang on, I just picked up the wrong thing. Right, what you basically were able to react to is at about head height, there is a ledge to the left, and hidden on the ledge was a lurk, and they are favoured with stealth, so he was quite hard to spot. But you just managed to see the movement out of the corner of your eye as this lurk thrusts forwards towards Chris with a long spear. Now, you think at this point that it's attempting to not only hit you, but it's also attempting to push you.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
your defense, luckily, Chris, is a 19, is it not? Now?
Yes.
It only rolled an 8, so you managed to deftly step forwards, putting yourself out of range of the lurk's spear. And you and Pat both get to react. If it's not dead by the end of this, combat ensues.
Is it
Shouldn't take too long,
possible?
though. It's only one lurk.
Is it possible to grab the spear and use the momentum to throw it down the?
You
the
can.
ledge?
That is a
Can I do it at
perfect
the same time?
maneuver attempt.
Can I do
Yeah,
it
you
at the same
could
time?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could assist. While it's
Okay.
outstretched, you can attempt to maneuver to, and your player's call on this, if you get enough, will be the lurk is pulled out and goes down into the darkness. Otherwise, you're going to make it stymied or vulnerable.
Who's got the higher weapon skill then?
Well, it's maneuver in this one.
Who's got the higher maneuver then? What's your maneuver? I just know what your maneuver is.
It's a skill.
Okay, it'll be
If you
you
don't
then.
have it, it's off of
What's-
dex.
I don't
Text.
have.
Okay, mine's just 8.
It's also 8.
So it doesn't matter then.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one. So decide who's actually going for the actual skill check, and the other person will be doing an assist.
As usually in the relationship, I will go for the shaft, right?
You're going for the what?
He's going for the shaft. He's being rude.
Sharp. All right. Not now, love.
Oh,
Right. So
I need
Pat-
a possibility to make this happen.
Well, equally as bad.
Here we go.
I'm going to use one as well.
26. That's a 9.
Oh, it's a 10 at least. Phew.
15.
right. So Chris, you're being an assist in this. So your DC is 10, and if you make it, you count as one assistant. If you make it by 5, you count as 2. If you make it by 10, you count as 3 people.
I got +5 and I had 8, so 13. No, just one.
13. So you count as one person. So Alexander, Pat's getting a +1 on whatever her total is, thanks to Chris's assist. And your
Strength involved in
26.
this.
I
It's
had
maneuver.
20. I had 26. So that's
That gives you a-
9 plus
yeah, it's a
that's
bonus of 9.
15. Sorry, it's 17 plus 1. It's 18.
Okay, so it's not enough to get the absolute call that you wanted, but you can choose. Actually, no, hang on a second. I'm doing it off of a 10, sorry. It should be off of his maneuver. What did you get? 18.
Yep, that's what he
18.
said.
The
Yes.
lurk's maneuver, i.e. its defense against maneuver, is also 8. So you did make it by 10.
Yay!
You get a player's call. And with lightning fast reactions, the Larkins both grab the spear and just drag out and then lever it over, and the lurk goes flying over their heads and then disappears screaming into
Say,
the dark tunnel.
Bell, set him on fire as we as he flies down.
Yeah.
It will
There's our light.
This is going to be
You have a
harder.
target if you want to. Go for it.
What's the target?
It is a moving target, so it's going to be a 10.
Is that all? Okay.
Yeah, his dodge isn't that good. There's a whole parabolic arc. You can predict things. Possibly not with an 8, but normally you might be able to.
It did. It should be 12.
Yeah, you manage to quickly incant the spell. The fireball arcs down, impacts the lurk, who stops screaming, and you just see a burning body fly down, 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 down. You're not sure if the light went out or if it hit something. But it was a good 20 seconds before you lost sight of the light. So that's a long way down.
That's a long way down.
I'll do that really hilarious thing where people pretend to push you over the edge, but not to someone. You know, it's really funny that jocks do.
Well, your dex is going to be terrible. You'll probably do it.
Just roll a d20.
I won't do it.
Just roll a d20. You've stated it now.
Damn it. No.
Closest person
Why
to
am
you
I
is your
American?
wife.
Okay, you didn't roll a mishap. Who did you do it to?
I wouldn't dare do it to my wife. Whoever comes closest first. So is it? It's
No,
probably,
it's got to be your choice,
Sean.
not their choice. Oh, maybe, yeah, Sean probably wouldn't
No, I
appreciate
think Sean was there, wasn't he? So Sean.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a brief moment of hilariously dangerous prank. When,
Ah.
Chris comes up behind you and goes, "Oh, didn't mean it." The
I'm so
corridor,
funny.
yeah, there's that bit. The corridor continues around, snaking around the edge of this deep chasm.
Check on the ledge.
Up on the ledge, if you
Yep.
want to check up there, yeah, you can look up. It's a small miniature chamber. You find a small pouch of goods up there, about 3 copper pieces, piece of mouldy cheese, and some stale bread, which was obviously the Lurk's lunch. But nothing else apart from that, but 3 copper pieces.
I'll throw the mouldy cheese and stale bread over the edge,
It
and then pocket the
plummets over the edge.
3 copper pieces.
This is where we see
Where do
a
we
long
put that?
blades too.
As you progress around, you get the distinct feeling that you're transitioning from one scene to another scene, and the map closes.
Do we have to wait for adverts?
No, there's no adverts at this point. After some time, probably a good 25 or so minutes of cautious walking along a ledge, the ledge turns back into the body of the rock, and it begins to spiral downwards. And after about another 20-30 minutes of walking on this downward spiral, it curves around, straightens, and then opens back out, obviously at some point further down the cliff. The difference here is, ahead of you, you can see a broad bridge of stone jutting out towards a structure that appears to be floating in the midst of the darkness of the chasm. Thickly vines wrap around this structure and hang off, trailing down into the bottomless darkness of the chasm below you. We can only describe as a rock bridge connects the ledge where you are again now to the structure ahead of you. There are no handrails, and it's a sheer drop on all sides. As you approach, literally as you sort of turn and then get line of sight, it's a good maybe 100, 150 feet away. You see a robed figure, see it from behind, just seems to be finishing crossing the bridge at the far side away from you. You can barely hear him muttering something, and as he walks forwards, the blocks that comprise the structure, a good 100, 150 feet ahead of you, appear to part as he walks forwards and then close behind him. It seems the only approach to this structure is this, I say broad, but still relatively slender bridge of stone. And at the moment, you're a good, say, 100, 150 feet away from the structure itself. Torg pokes her head over the edge and says, I don't know where you lot, but there's nothing holding this bridge up. And then she leans over and looks down again, and anybody that does sees, yep, lo and behold, there's about 1.5 feet of stone and nothing else underneath it.
Well, that's either magic or extremely unstable.
Or it's an illusion.
You mean it's not a bridge at all?
Yeah, it's a bit. You just walk off and fall all the way down, die.
I try to poke it with a torch. Does it seem like an illusion?
Sand on it. Does he go on AFK to fix a dog or something?
No, I'm here. Just listening.
Yeah, I try to poke the bridge with my torch just to see if it's an illusion.
Seems pretty solid.
Yeah. It's real. So,
I mean, the size of this structure ahead of you, it's pretty big. Oh, and by the way, Pat, sorry, you can hear that chanting again. It's louder, and it seems to be coming from below and ahead of you.
did the robed figure we saw, did he look like the one we saw earlier before?
You only got a very brief look at any of them earlier. Who would recognise it? Chris and Pat saw them. Basically,
one of them
yeah, exactly, the one you blew up. It looks to have been the same robes that you saw in the single individual who made their way up alongside the Lurks from Charing Cross Station. So probably Sean wouldn't have seen it, Jamie wouldn't have seen it, and Constable Caudry, you were on the other side of Trafalgar Square at that point.
So what do you reckon? Cross? There's only one option, just cross the bridge, isn't there?
You have literally, I mean, you've got bottomless chasm on either side of the bridge, and the bridge heads in one direction. You didn't see any sign of offshoot corridors when you came down. Literally, the ledge went round, dove into the thing, spiraled down a significant way, and then came out, went along a bit, and then you've now got this bridge.
Well, there was another path I think we didn't take, but it seemed to
Yeah,
be...
there was one in the other direction.
I'm wondering, could anyone look over the edge and see if there's another path below us?
Yeah, I mean, Torg goes, okay. And she gets down onto her knees, leans over, and flat. So she'll just, I can't see anything.
Oh, that's okay.
Just that thing goes down and lots of veins.
But it sounds like climbing. No.
Not on this side, although there's some.
Right, who wants to cross a bridge first then? Is it where
maybe
the
we
bridge
could-
goes right across? Did you say, or did you say something blocked that may
No,
block some?
No, the bridge goes from where you are, standing on the ledge. It's about roughly 5 meters wide all the way along. It's not like perfectly straight; it meanders, and then it butts up against whatever the structure is floating in the midst of the chasm.
Right, let's go. Come on.
Wait,
I'll stride out.
maybe we should get a rope or something just for safety.
Have you got enough rope to do that?
Has anyone got any rope?
I believe you had some, and you added it to the first bit you had to climb down. So I'm going to say you probably haven't got any rope left.
Oh.
But some of you begin
I'm walking.
riding across the bridge. Feels quite sturdy. It's a good 4 or 5 meters wide. So at this moment, as long as you're sticking to the middle, you're not getting particularly agoraphobic about the situation. Is it agoraphobia or agoraphobia? One's height, acrophobia, that's it. That's heights. Agoraphobia is open spaces, which would also be kicking off right about now, because after about 50 feet out, you're in the middle and it's literally black all around you because your torches don't illuminate where you just came from. As you approach the structure, you start to see that what you originally thought of as irregular stones that this thing was constructed of, you begin to see little flashes of white, the colour of ivory, the colour of bleached bone, because that's actually what it is. Throughout the stones, or what you thought were the stones of the wall, are actually bones, some in some places blackened and charred, but every so often they're sort of like rubbed white where you can see underneath it. And some of the bones in the wall you can see are actually complete skeletons embedded within the wall itself. And vines twist throughout the entire structure, seemingly holding certain things together. After a few minutes cautious, slow walking, you're stood in front of where you saw the robed figure enter.
I've got a funny feeling this place has been held up by vines.
What kind of creature?
So if I burn the vines, we might fall.
That's a very real possibility. I do not like the look of this, says Torg. I think there's sorcery at work here.
Oh, if only we had a sorcerer. I'm a wizard.
I'm pretty good at making sauce.
There doesn't appear to be an obvious doorway, but you are stood at the point where the figure you saw did something and the walls opened.
Is there like something there that I can see? That, like a magical door entry code thing or something like that?
There might be a magical door entry code thing. What are you doing to see if you can reveal a magical door entry code thing?
Did we hear the guy chanting say something, by the way?
You did hear him mutter something, not really loud enough to make out what it was, but you are correct. He obviously said something to the door. Oh, by the way, we transitioned scenes.
Can I just say open to it and see if it works?
Yeah. Yeah, you say open, it doesn't work. Before we do that, because we transition scenes, everyone would refresh your possibilities back to 3.
Yay.
Cool. And because you might be about to need them, who has less than 4 cards?
I have one card. I have one card.
I
I
have
have
3 cards.
3 cards.
Okay, so Bell first had 1, so you get that one, and that one.
Right.
Alexander, how many did you say you had?
I'm 1 short.
Okay. Pat gets Flurry. Chris needs how many?
Well, I need 1, but I was hoping I could play a card first, so I could have 2.
No, because we should have done this before you even came up. So you can have 1 and then use
Okay.
1.
Okay.
So you can have drama.
Right.
Jamie has how many cards? She has 3, so Jamie gets another 1. Jamie gets a supporter card. I think that Constable Caudry is already on 4, isn't she?
Yeah.
And Sean needs 1.
I need 1, yes.
Okay. Ooh, reality surge. Okay, has everyone retrieved their cards? Excellent.
Yep. Can I play
Okay.
1?
You can indeed.
Gets an idea.
Almost certainly, this
Yeah.
door is opened by a word of command. And you think to yourself, in the absence of knowing anything about the word of command, perhaps there are some arcane words that suit all purposes like this. And with that, your eyes fall upon Bell.
Abracadabra.
That doesn't work.
Open says
You're not
Sean tries it.
Are there any mystical words that to open?
I just said it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Open
you say that, nothing happens, and you think to yourself, maybe I need to think about this a bit more magically. And you start going over your training in your head. You get your books out, you double check. You think there might be. You can attempt some base level opening rituals with this. That use your alteration magic skill, but you can give them a try.
We'll do that because I will hold the wand out to do this because the wand improves my alteration.
It did. It gave you a +1, I believe, on alteration skill totals.
Yep, so I'll do that. Let's roll it. My dice are currently red because the other dice were terrible. Ooh, told you.
Well done. By the way, this is a hard difficulty number 14 alteration magic test.
I got 19.
Bell takes out his book, flips it to a page, peruses that page for a second, shakes his head, turns a couple more pages, nods confidently, holds the book out in his left hand, holds the wand out in his right, incants some impossibly complex, sounds like gobbledygook to Sean, but to some of you that have become more accustomed to Aysle, the feel of magic is within these words. And there's a brief flare of purple energy from the end of the wand, and the sides of these blocks begin to slowly shuffle aside, revealing a dark purple lit corridor beyond.
Get my sword ready.
Get my mace ready.
Yeah, same.
I get my hand ready.
You can see the corridor beyond. It widens on the other side of the door, and everything is lit in this dull purple light. Are you continuing onwards?
We came this far.
The one thing that you do notice, all of you now, you can
They still
start to
coughing,
hear the chanting, and those of you that are coughing are still coughing, but you can hear the chanting clearly now. It's a language that none of you understand. Any of you that have light perks, which I know is Pat, I don't know if anyone else has any light perks, do they?
I've got the reverse of that.
I know two of you have the reverse. I think, Pat, you're the only one with light perks at the moment. You are feeling this is, your soul is on edge to this. These are words that are antithetical to your very existence.
Ooh. How does the dwarf lady react to this?
She is immediately sort of like ready for action. Her quite relaxed gait has changed, and she's now alert. And you can see her; she's more sort of like military and walking with a sense of purpose and reason.
Okay, I turn to her and say, "Are you familiar with this?"
Aye, this appears to be a temple to Aysle. He's not a good guy. And she basically she gestures down to a plate on her left leg, where you can see there appears to be a symbol which looks like a sword hilt, where with a very small piece of blade on it. And she says, "See that? That's a symbol of Dunad, she of honor. That noise coming from there, that's the followers of her nemesis, Aysle, the #1 god of corruption and darkness. We'd best be cautious at this point." And she begins to cautiously step into what is now revealed as a temple to Aysle. Once past the outer walls, you emerge into a larger main gallery. The floors of this place are constructed of a strange sort of like purplish obsidian stone. But the walls, the outer walls, are all constructed of that bone structure you saw already. There appear to be very little in the way of inner walls within here. Those that are relatively crudely built stone affairs. So the chamber you emerge into is quite a large room, and it is filled with piles of discarded bones just scattered across this purple obsidian floor. At the far end of the room, as you approach, a statue, at least 25 feet high, dominates the room. The stone figure is a thin man with a gaunt face and a wide-brimmed, almost Puritan-style hat. He holds a cane, and the statue is garbed in clothes that look more Victorian than Irish. As you approach, Turek states out loud, "What's he doing in a temple dedicated to Corbaal?"
He looks a bit out of place.
Aye. I mentioned that that guy in charge of Aysle, the High Lord of Aysle, was Angar Uthurian.
Yeah?
Well, legend says that before he began to rule Aysle, he worked for another High Lord called the Gaunt Man. I think that's him.
Certainly fits the description.
Description.
But what he's doing here, I have no idea. Can it be good? Whatever it is. As you approach the statue, you can hear the general chanting getting louder. And it's relatively easily found why. Behind the statue, there is a spiral staircase winding down. The steps, however, are made from the same vine-strewn bones as the rest of the temple. So not the same as the floor, but the same as the walls. And again, the sound of a loud, indistinct chant echoes up from below. There's a pale glow of purple light as well. Sorry, you didn't spend a possibility. I just double-clicked when I shouldn't have done. You should have been on 3, not 2. What are you doing?
What are we doing?
Yes, I'm asking you.
No, I was asking the others. What are we doing?
Okay.
Well, I was just wondering how much XP we're supposed to have now.
You've had all the XP you've had this adventure. You've had 5, and I believe you've spent it.
It was 10 in the other one.
Yeah, because there were 3 acts in the other one. There are only 2 in this one.
Unconventional.
Don't get
Nah.
greedy.
Is there people there? Is there people in front of me, by the way?
Are there people in front of you? There is no one in front of you on this floor. So you have the large entry chamber, big 25-foot tall statue of a Victorian-looking gentleman with a gaunt face and a cane. Behind that, you can see spiral stairs heading down into a room below.
We thought the chanting came from below then. So
The chanting is definitely coming from below.
And beyond that, or around it, is just more stone. Or...
Essentially, yes.
is there like a magic site here? Mage site or anything like that?
Not particularly. Not with the perks that you have.
Okay.
Oh, this is far too strange for me, but I think that chanting can't be good.
Yeah, let's go downstairs, and because we have to find the child still. Does the blood still lead towards the stairs? Have we seen any more blood?
You haven't seen any more tracks for quite some time.
So we lost the tracks then somewhere, maybe, or it dried up, maybe. Well, Constable, you're the one in charge.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I just made you in charge.
Well, what makes you in charge to make me in charge?
Right, let's go.
You're wearing a nice uniform. You got armor on you. Put
I'll
your
use my
shoes-
nimble boots because I get I'm favoured in
Stealth
checks. What's that mean? Favoured.
means when you roll stealth, you get if you roll badly on your first roll, you can choose to roll again, and if you get better, essentially you have to take the second roll, but you get a second roll to see if you get better.
Even if I roll a 1.
If your second roll is worse than your first roll, then so be it. You should have the chance to get better, you just didn't.
What if I roll a 1 first time? Is that still allowed? Or...
Yes, but you don't overcome the. I don't think you overcome the mishap if you roll a 1 the second.
Right. Okay.
That's all. Watch this stealth roll.
What's it come off?
Stealth
Dexterity.
is off of dexterity if people are doing stealth.
I presume we want to do stealth, do we?
It's up
Nice
to
and
you. What you
quiet.
do.
Don't have anything called stealth, but I'll look.
Could at least try, could we not?
Yeah, might as well try. So, where's my dex? Oh, God.
Sean! Luckily though, stealth is not a contradictory action.
Wow. Okay, that is only a 20 because I don't have the skill, so I can't re-roll.
Yep.
That's a 7 plus my dex, which makes it 15.
I will roll as well for the dwarf.
$11 for me.
Okay, so an 11. Who didn't get over 10? I'm assuming that's you, Sean.
I also get plus 2 meters to movement.
You do, so make sure your move is up. That will be relevant in a bit.
I didn't get over
It's
10.
Sean.
Yeah, move is 10 now.
Okay.
Is that a possibility, it's Shawnee?
Okay then. I'll find a possibility on it. That's slightly less bad.
That's a 10 on its own. So that's an 11 you get, which is a 0, so whatever your base stealth is.
10 out of 10? Why is it a 10 out of 10?
Because a possibility counts as a 10 minimum.
Ah, I see. In which case then, I share with my stealth, which I don't have. It's just my dex, is it?
Yep.
19 then.
19? No, it's 10. You can't have a dex of 19.
Dex of 9. Ah, plus
So it's
1.
just 9.
9.
Yeah.
You don't add anything to it.
You're very stymied, but that would be both Constable Caudry and Jamie, which means you are -4 for stealth checks.
Well, that means I have to. Well, it depends on what happens if I fail. Like, do they?
We'll make the decision first. We don't get.
Well,
We don't want to alert them, do we? I think. Although Sean is lower than 10, so.
I get 9.
Okay.
If it's favoured, does that mean I can roll again, or do I have
Yeah,
to?
you'll still get you but if it's favoured, you don't have to roll again, but the second roll is what you take. So if you get less than a 10, it's worth rolling again.
Yeah, I might as well. No.
No, same. Not a. Okay, so who's going first?
I think I was.
Okay.
I got 11.
Right. You and Turek, who's just behind you, begin to sneak carefully and cautiously down the stairs. The rest of you are following close behind. 2 or 3 things happen in quick succession. What did Constable Caudry get?
Oh, I got a 7 unless I spend the possibility.
Okay. So the first 2 things that happen is from about halfway down the stairs, Jamie and Constable Caudry have a synchronized coughing fit. Nothing they can do about it, but the coughing does make you realize the jig's probably up. Acting slightly faster than Chris, Turek realizes this and vaults down the last 3 steps to the bottom of the stairs and yells a dwarven battle cry and charges into the room. Chris, or Gaz,
I'll run. Charge
you
down.
are the closest, and I'll put you on the map in a second.
Have we got a map?
Yeah. You are the closest as you see
Holy crap.
Turek charging into the room. The floor drops out from beneath her
What?
and she disappears into darkness.
Oh, come on.
Right. Who's after Chris? I'm just going to put this is your initial placement on the map. So who's following Chris?
I'm following him.
I was about to say if there were going to be no volunteers, the wife would be.
The wife would be.
Who's following Pat?
I guess I could be.
Okay, so Sean and Constable Caudry.
I tend to always try to be in the middle of everyone, so wherever that is.
Hang on. Sean Malloy. Right, essentially you're all, when it comes to your turn, you're all coming down and out from the same point of the stairs.
Yep.
I'm not going to stack people up and around the stairs. And then Belle, followed by Jamie.
Yep.
Belle Patel and Jamie Thacker. Okay. What you see before you, before we go into the ensuing combat, which is likely going to happen, as Chris, you notice that a number of eyes face your collective direction, and you also notice a number of eyes don't face your collective. The stairs wind down into a massive chamber. A tall figure in black robes, if you mouse over the guy in the middle, named Antenok, stands in the very center of the chamber, hands raised and leading the others in the chamber in a chant. He has slender, handsome figures, but red eyes and alabaster white skin mark him to all but the most innocent of observers as one of the undead. This is Antenok, one of the many necromancers of Kor Baal and high priest of this sect. 8 hooded figures, his chosen priests, encircle him. They face Antenok and chant in unison at him. Magical energy flares around all 8 of the priests. Behind the priests, beneath a smaller statue of the same figure you saw upstairs, are 9 people. Each of them manacled to a chain. Can't really see much detail about it, but they all do appear to be seen manacled to at least one chain. The small red-dressed girl in the middle is Amelia. There is at least one dwarf figure amongst them, but the rest of them all appear to be London residents. The captives look disoriented and fatigued. Their skin pulls taut and appears to be losing colour as the chant continues. You can all feel buzzing in the air that energy that you've all only very recently started to become aware of, that possibility energy, and that is in the air around you. A small contingent of lurks is scattered around the room, originally watching the ceremony in awe, However, as the coughing fits ensue, Torg charges out and then immediately disappears down a hole in the floor. The faces of the lurks turn to look towards the stairs that you yourselves are now coming out of. It is a dramatic scene. Everyone remember what a dramatic scene means?
You have to do things in order 1, 2, 3, 4, or something like that. A, B, C, D. Or something.
No, that's dramatic skill resolution. A dramatic scene simply means that
The dramatic line thing.
the dramatic line. So you guys, the villains go first. However, you guys do have a flurry this round, which means you all get to have a go, and then you all get to have another go.
Oh, that's nice.
However, the villains do have initiative. And as I mentioned, the lurks do turn to see the interlopers heading into their area.
Just to let you know, I go first.
Scale on the map is 1 to 1. So if you've got a move of 6, you can move 6 squares.
Can I do my thing, the card
No.
first? Oh.
The lurks go first. But you can put your card into your combat pool, yes.
Oh,
Your situational awareness. What card?
Playing leadership.
Can you? But you can't play it until it's in your pool.
I can play it immediately because of situation awareness.
Okay, yes, because it's in your pool immediately, right? Understood.
I'm radiant.
It says on it.
You are radiant. All of these will counter supernatural evil for you.
Okay, I draw an additional card at the start of the fight. You may also add one of your cards to the pool at the start of your fight.
Excellent. So we'll deal with leadership first. Actually, no, you get your card first because it gets it out of there. And that's only 1 to worry about. So Pat gets willpower. And you can play 1. Now we'll resolve leadership. Got to find it.
I'm going to talk to Chris. Chris, ready? You're getting action 13. Put it in your hand. I think it goes in your hand.
Into my hand.
You can do it. I know you can do it into your pool or the hand. It's up to
Okay,
you.
okay. You can do it to your pool as well. And the other one is adrenaline 3.
Yeah. They come from your hand and can go to somebody else's hand or pool.
Do you get those 2?
Yep, I might as well put them in my pool, I presume.
You probably best do.
I should get what's that?
And now you refill your hand.
I need 3 cards.
Okay, so the 3 cards.
I'll move 1 in my action pool.
Yep. So which one have you got in your pool? Second chance. Good choice.
Second chance.
Okay, so Belle gets another willpower, a coup de grace, and
I'll
opponent
take another
fails.
one. I will take Flurry into the pool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, flurrying around with a flurry. Yes, you would get 3 actions.
That was me. I just had to get that out of the way.
Okay.
I always forget that stupid.
Yeah, no, not a problem. Beginning of the time is the best time to do that. So I just need to get the lurk stats up. So I've got them here. Why can't I get the lurk stats up from there? Stupid bloody thing. That's what I want. Okay, lurk's movement is 7. So I'm going to move some. Now, the issue is that you have an enclosed spiral staircase. So only the people in the bottom 2 spaces will be able to do anything, which requires line of sight. 1 lurk.
Keep an eye on where they walk. Which
3
spaces.
lurks. Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'll let you make certain attempts later on for that because you're paying attention to those ones. So 3 lurks leap upwards towards you, and being careful not to fall into the pit, and attempt to. Yeah, they're not going to do anything particularly clever yet. They're going to attempt to hammer at Chris with their maces. As there are 3 of them, I'm only going to make the 1 skill check because they're doing the combination that bad guys do, which is simpler and easier, which I simply add a value depending on how many there are. So 3 of them give me a +2. So what's your melee defense, Chris? Probably doesn't matter.
11. Oh.
As they open with a -6, with a +2 gives them a -4, and their melee weapons is 9, so that's a 5. So those 3 don't get to do anything much. However, the other lurks begin to get into closer positions. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lurks loose arrows directly at Chris. But again, they're attempting what we call a many-on-one, which means you're only actually going to get hit by one of them, but they get a bonus based on the number of them that are attempting the action. 9 of them on you. I need to get to the table again.
9 of them are shooting at me.
Yep.
Okay. It's all good.
Meat shield.
I got this.
I need to learn the rule book better. Come on. It's not in the gear section. It's before the gear section. That's what I wanted. And 9 of them gives them a +4. What is your dodge?
9.
They got even, which means they are hitting you and not lurk 1, lurk 11, or lurk 5.
Damn it. That would have been good.
And do you get out? Luckily, no, you don't, because they are skilled. So it's a bonus number of 27. That gives them a 9 + 4 is a 13 on their melee weapons of 9. That makes it a 22. What's your dodge?
9.
So that's 10 over. So they get the most damage they can do. So there's 2 bonus dice. Yeah.
It's all good.
6 onto their bow damage. What's your toughness?
For Boromir. 13.
Right, that's 4 result points. So despite the plethora of arrows heading in your direction, you desperately flail at keeping the most of them. A couple of them nick you. You're unable to remove all of them, and you take 2 shock. Because that was only 4 damage over your toughness. So your investment in your armor did put you in good stead. The heroes go. Who is going first amongst your group? Attack and trick are approved actions. It's going to be difficult to do attack unless you're in the bottom 2 spaces.
And he should go first.
Trick will be a little bit easier, but again, what you can do successfully with a trick is going to be limited based on your location.
I think Chris should go first.
I think you might be right. Chris might want to go first.
And he might take a step to the left.
Does he need me to take a step to the left? Does she need me to take? Because I can hit 3 here, whereas if I take a step to the left, I can only hit 1. I can hit 2.
If you took a step to the left, you would be under. So that is actually part of this floor. So yes, you could take a step to the left.
Okay, other
hit
question.
1 then.
Can Pat move to here? Can she go over the railing?
At that level, I'd say probably just about. It's
Okay,
more
so-
squeezing around the front of the wall than jumping over the railing. But yeah, that'd be just about doable.
I was only
Okay.
saying that because it's a pit. Yeah, you can do that. Of course you can. You keep falling. Right, I'm going to try and hit a wild, all-out attack, hit everyone, cleave them. Yeah, everything. I can't remember what the words are.
Multi-target.
Multi-target.
You want to do? I'll put the action in combat up.
And I want to do. I'm going to go wild because
That'll be -4 because there's 2 extra.
Before you do, would you like me to intimidate them so they're easy to hit?
It's going to be difficult because you haven't really got line of sight with them.
Okay.
Because essentially, while you're here on the map, you're actually up there, sort of half a level up.
Well, I can still sort of, if I hear the sound of fighting, I can sort of bark something down.
Yeah, I mean, you probably wouldn't be able. I'd say you would only be able to affect like one or the other of them at the bottom of the stairs if you do want to do that.
I could, or
You could affect one of them, he said.
yeah, okay. Yeah, well, is that going to help him if he's attacking all 3 of them, though?
Yeah, because you apply the same bonus number against all 3, so you apply it separately. So one of them would be slightly easier to affect.
Right. Okay. Then I'm gonna intimidate Lark 1.
Okay, so the closest one makes most sense.
12. That puts me at 11.
Do you want to make him stymied, vulnerable, very stymied, or very vulnerable? Because
Very
you've beaten
vulnerable.
his total by 5. So no player's call, but you do get a chance to. Okay, so he is now at. Well, actually, he's not at anything. You get a +4 versus him. Okay, so Lurk 1, very vulnerable. Noted. Okay, so Constable Caudry bellows some intimidating command from further up the stairs. So, Chris, you're doing a wild all-out attack, yeah? Sorry, not all-out attack.
An all-out attack, multi-target.
Yeah, so you're trying it on each of them.
Yeah, because my all-out attack gives me the chance of doing my relentless thing. So I need to do that.
And have you got whirlwind?
No, I don't think so. I've got relentless. Trademark weapon. And something else. Endurance is my other one.
Right, okay, so you're getting -4 from the multi-attack.
+4 for the all-out attack.
So you're at an overall 0.
What do I get from what Constable Addison just did?
One of them has, essentially, one of them's got 4 points lower defense.
Right.
So go ahead and roll. I think trademark weapon does something to your damage rolls.
Yeah, if I roll a 1, I can re-roll it. I'm going to do me possibility.
Okay. So that's a 19 total.
Don't forget your cards.
Right.
Because you have got some in your pool, in your action pool.
Just wondering, do we want
Badger, don't forget you can play a card into your pool for doing the intimidate.
I was going to move, but not right now. Because I can't really.
Intimidate isn't one of the things?
Nope, but he doesn't get a new card then, that's all.
I saw you misunderstood.
So your bonus number of 6 onto your melee weapons, please, Chris.
Sorry, I'm forgetting which I keep putting down the wrong menu.
Your melee weapons is an 11, I believe.
Yep, so it's 17. Do I need to play a card against these mooks?
You're hitting each of them at the moment. You're not getting 2 bonus dice of damage because their melee weapons defense is 9.
So what am I on?
You're on 17 currently.
17. Okay, so another +3 would give me.
Yeah, 19 would give you 2 bonus dice of damage.
Go on, I'll play Adrenaline, which will give me 20 in total.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, you were already getting 2 bonus dice of damage on one of them, but now you're getting bonus dice on all 3 of them.
Might as well.
Okay, so
individual dice
makes it easier. No, you roll one set of damage and apply it to all of them. I think I had best double check that before we do it wrong. Multi-action. It's multi-targeting, yeah. Marcus the Paladin is attacked by 3 generates in the subway beneath London, so it's hit all 3, yada 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 yada. He can even play a Destiny card like coup de grace, increases damage total and apply to all the shops, tooth and vermin at once. So you apply your damage to all 3 of the creeping crawlers. or in this case, lurking lurkers. So roll 2d6 for bonus dice. 7 bonus damage. If you choose to, you can spend 3 shock to add another 1 because of your relentless.
At the moment, I'm doing 7 damage there plus.
I think you're going to kill them regardless, so there's no point.
Yeah, plus 4, 11 plus my strength.
Yep.
Jeez, 11. And what did I say? 11 to 22. So I'm doing 22 damage.
They have toughness of 9.
That should be
5 over their toughness is enough to wound them, so you've got no need to do relentless.
I'll save me shock for the big Antioch or whatever it is.
Okay, so lurks 5, 11, and 1. What weapon are you wielding?
It's a two-handed. It's the
Big
Conan
ass
the
claymore,
Barbarians.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit awkward because you're desperately trying not to overbalance and find yourself down the bottom of a pit. But with a series of deft stabs, slashes, and strikes, you clear the lurks from the stairs at the bottom.
Okay.
You can say after that you can move up to half your speed now, if you wish.
Can I move the same way they came from? So I'm stepping on them.
Give me a find check, DC 10. If you succeed, then you can move along the route they took.
Bugger.
You have no idea.
Well, you know that one was to the right, so you can step there at least.
Do I get a card?
You do because you successfully attacked. You also
And
get
I can put one
at the end of your go. You can put one in. You got a hero card. Hero card 24.
It does know where 2 safe squares is because there 2 creatures were on it. You just kill. So that's
Yeah. So the square immediately to the left of the pit, the square immediately to the right of the pit, and the square immediately to your right had lurk standing on them up until a minute ago.
I'm going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Then there.
Okay.
Then there.
Yep.
No,
You're okay.
wrong. Phew.
Who's going after Chris?
Of course I do.
Could Pat at least move out of the way? So
Yes.
She's going next.
She will charge next to her husband.
Stepping in his. Oh, hang on. You're stepping in his
will tell her
footsteps.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say follow my footsteps to her.
Okay. Pat, you haven't done an attack yet. Oh, by the way, you've had to. You're standing by a pillar.
Okay.
All right. Or can I stand there?
when she
Right. Okay. Hang on a second. I've got to roll again.
You know, there's
Okay.
like big trap holes, and you were in a safe spot 2 seconds ago.
Give me 2 seconds.
He's still using Pat at the minute.
And here comes the.
Okay. What did Pat do?
I hit on the lurk.
Okay. Lurk number 2.
Let's see. All right. 13. That's a +1, and I have a strength of 6.
Which dex for the hit?
Dex. Okay. So it's 8. It's a 9, and melee weapon is 1.
So that's a 10.
So that's a 10.
Yeah,
And
that lurk is currently having a missile weapon, so it's his job, unarmed combat, so that's a 9.
and I have a mace damage of +2.
Well, you hit it, so but you've
So
not got enough. You didn't hit it enough to give you any bonus damage.
So
So
it's strength.
2 onto your strength.
It's 8 in total. 6 + 2.
8 versus their toughness. Not enough to do a wound, but it wasn't low enough to do nothing. So that was lurk number 2 having taken a shock as your mace impacted.
Everyone around me gets the +1 defense from my aura.
Cool.
How far
Not
away
to forget that one.
did it immediately?
I think it was 6 yards.
Which will be 6 squares.
Okay, I'm just gonna move there to get out of the way.
Okay, who's after Constable Caudry?
I think it'll have to be the person next in the queue.
That would be
Me, I
Sean.
reckon.
So, Sean, you would use 1, 2. Well, I said yes, it's actually positioned you correctly. So, 3 move to get to the bottom of the stairs. That's 4. That'll be 4. What's your move? Probably more than 4.
6, I
Probably
think.
about 6. Okay, you can do another 2 if you want.
Just
Never
a while.
trust
I'll
the
get you there,
GM.
and I'll take a couple of shots at these.
Okay, so at the moment you've got the lurks, little circular guys in white. So they're the ones who are currently armed. You've got 8 chanting priests and a big, tall, gaunt, white undead figure in the middle of them all.
Well,
Whom are you shooting at?
them priests look like they're up to no good, so I'll take a shot at them. Now, I've got sniper and double tap, and I forgot what they do.
Right, sniper means that you can get a bonus if you choose to aim, I believe. Double tap, you can just choose to fire twice and get a +1 action bonus. So you get a +1 on whatever you're doing.
I'll do the double tap then.
Okay, whom in particular are you double tapping?
I'm going to go for
Dear.
priest number 1.
Hey, cool. Okay, priest of Corbaal 1. The priest at 7 o'clock, or was it 8? Anyway, that one there.
I think I've turned into an elf or something.
Oh, right, yes. You have just disconnected. It must be just you're in the midst of this occult ritual. There is magical energy flowing all around. You literally raise old Lucy up, and for the first time, the trigger doesn't even move, and you find you've been dealing with everything so well up until now, but suddenly just all the strangeness just crashes in on you in one inexorable wave of confusion, and you disconnect.
I feel like the only gay in the village.
Not anymore. It's literally the opposite. You were before, but now you're the same as everyone else. Okay, who's going after Sean's unfortunate circumstance?
Guess who's next in the queue? Yes, it's me.
So you would take 4 to get to the bottom of the steps.
I get to the bottom of the steps, notice the hole there, notice those 2 over there, and go, oh, this must be safe, and walk over here. That's 1.
Well, that's 5.
3.
Yeah, 5
Oh,
total
one
so
back.
far.
But I only could move. Oh, I can move 8. Okay. I'll stop there, and I will try a lovely spell that has got no chance of working, but I want to try it anyway. I want to diminish the what's it? Not intelligence. It's called mind of Aternach.
Antonok.
I want to diminish his mind. I get +1 with the wand, so here we go. I'll use a possibility. Oh, wait a minute. He may be a possibility creature, so there's no point.
He might be.
1 + 2, 14. He has to roll willpower or spirit.
Versus what?
His willpower or his spirit. I'm 14. What was his willpower or spirit?
I'm just double checking.
I just saw that you rolled the dice. I was just wondering.
Why can't I? That.
Oh, you have to roll the dice to do that. Okay. I thought I just had to beat his attribute.
It has no impact. You're not sure, but you get a distinct feeling that your magic was actually blocked by something.
This is always the case. Always when I fight these big bosses.
Harry, Jamie's last.
But you did so well destroying all those mushroom pods.
You did all those mushrooms.
Well done.
Sorry,
Have your use.
Can I have a spell to push someone into a pit?
It's going to take you 5 to get to the bottom of the stairs,
Okay.
but your move as Jamie, I think, is quite high based off of Dex. Yeah, you okay. It's 10, I think.
Can I run up and stab the nearest priest?
You can relatively easily move far, so 5 to the bottom. So 5 would get you to there. If you can get to a priest within 5, then by all means. Okay, you're stepping on a fresh square. Okay. Priest of Corbaal number 5. By all means. He is chanting and giving all his attention to the gentleman in the middle of the circle. So he is currently very vulnerable.
Okay, flurried. Does that mean again?
In a minute, you'll all get a go again, but everyone has
Okay.
one go. Then everyone has one go.
Can I make this my, 2 attacks? Whirlwind.
Yeah. You want to attack both here. You want to attack him and the lurk, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So you get to do a whirlwind attack without a -2. That's a +1 bonus number on your melee weapons.
Which is 11.
If that's your total.
Total is 12.
Okay, 12. So that is essentially a 16 versus one of the priests of Corbaal and a 12 versus the lurk. The 12 hits the lurk, not enough to do any bonus damage. The 16 on the priest of Corbaal, on the other hand, is unarmed, which is just their dex, is enough to do 1 bonus dice of damage. So what's your normal damage?
I can't remember what the sword does again.
It's +3.
Okay.
Strength +3.
Strength is 7.
Okay, so 10 versus one of the lurks. And then I would like you to roll a bonus dice, and that gets added to the High Priest. So 10 versus a lurk is a shock. But 12 versus one of the priests is...
Is he flat-footed or just very stymied?
I would say, yeah, you're going to get your bonus on that. Roll another bonus dice. Because he
It's a straight +2.
A straight +2, yeah. Okay, so that's... Well, that was... Yeah, okay, it's not enough to take him over an additional one, but he still takes a wound, which actually... Priest goes down as your sword slices through his midriff. You twist it and come back, and you just basically you knock the lurk behind him with the pommel and like just send it staggering a few steps. But yeah, one of the priests goes down.
Does anything happen to any of the?
Nothing happens to the humans at the back, but you do see there is a visible wave or change in the wave of energy that are surrounding the circle of the priest. It's not down, but it does flicker, adjust, waver, or otherwise change. Everyone's had one go. Oh, and sorry, who else did attacks that I didn't give cards to? I don't think I gave one to Pat.
My attack failed, so
Pat gets an action. And additionally, that would be the drama card for Jamie.
Yeah, the priests are trying to keep everyone alive.
Yeah. Okay, everyone gets their flurry go. Doesn't have to be in the same sequence, as long as everyone gets a second action. In fact, we might want to deal with the easiest one at the beginning. Scallon.
I was going to say, is it going to be the one, the gibbering wreck?
Well, he's not gibbering just yet, but yes, you are currently disconnected. The first thing you do before anything else is you attempt to reconnect.
Is that a d20 roll?
It is a d20. It is on your reality skill.
Oh, good luck.
Reality is 1. Is it go off spirit?
Off of spirit, it does indeed.
So the 18 gives me plus 5. Then I've got 9, 10. Reality skill.
That's a 15.
Yeah, a 15. That's
Right,
got to
hang
be
on.
reconnect.
It might be. It depends where you are. Now, it's going to be a dominant zone of the Eilish reality. It's not a pure zone. There are basically you're either a native reality, or a mixed zone, or a dominant zone, or a pure zone. They're the levels of pureness of the reality. Now, I just need. I've lost a bit. I should learn where this is in the book.
So, is it impossible to disconnect from your native reality? Oh.
Well, not necessarily. For example, if you were an Eilish character that was deciding to be a bit dodgy and was going, do you know what? I don't like using bows. I'm going to use this pistol instead. Because you're reality rated, you're a Stormlight, you can risk contradiction. But that would mean you'd disconnect on a roll of a 1 when using that pistol. Okay?
Yeah, but you couldn't transform though, could you?
Not necessarily. You wouldn't transform to Aysle. Exactly. There'd be no risk of transformation. Right. So you're in a dominant zone. So your reconnection difficulty is -4, and as your difficulty is always 10, that essentially gives you a difficulty number of 14 to reconnect while you're in a dominant zone.
Yay.
You just got 15. Well done.
Welcome back. Yay.
So as a free action at the start of your turn, that's when that happens. So you shake it off and go, no, I know how guns work. Bugger this. And you can do whatever you want now. You're back to being grumpy Sean from Core Earth rather than nice and happy Sean from Aysle. Bigora, bigora.
Alright, well, I'm going to take a... Let's try and shoot him again, number 1.
And number 1 is still not actually included in any combat, so you're not at risk of firing into any melees just yet.
I'll spend a possibility on that.
Now you're able to do so again. Remember, when you're disconnected, you can't. So that's a total of a 20, giving you a bonus number of a 7.
Oh yeah, I forgot the add up. So 7 plus my fire combat 3 plus my dex of 9 plus 12 32. No, 7 plus 12 is
19.
19.
19.
Get there
Still
eventually.
good, still good enough. Yeah, not the 32, but still good enough to hit him. Their dodges are 11s, but remember these guys are very vulnerable because they're taking part. So that essentially gives them a dodge of 7 versus your 22, which is way over the 10 you need to get 2 bonus dice of damage. So roll your 2 bonus dice of damage. So 2d6, re-rolling on 6s and then count as 5s. Okay, so that's 6 onto your damage, please.
Damage is 13, so that's a 19.
19 against his toughness. That's way more than his 5 over his toughness. So the Priest of Corbaal number 1 is taken in the side of the head by a 9mm round, and there's a and he goes down, weakening the ritual circle even further. Who's going after Sean?
Right. I'd like to, if I can move back to where there's one priest was standing. Right about there.
You can't. The circle, as you see on the ground, the rough circle, is actually a barrier that is stopping you moving in to that space.
So.
Hang on, what I'll do is I will go pointers, draw a circle.
Oh, so is it the inner one?
Essentially, that is an impassable, although slightly off center. Let's do that again. It should be centered on him. There you go. And it's actually a little bit bigger than that as well. But you get the idea. You can't pass around that or through that area. So you've moved up to it, so you've used your movement up to that point, but at that point you can decide to go left or back and around the lurk, but you can't go around the north of the lurk.
Okay, so can I go there then?
You can get to about there, because you can't actually get... The lurks are stopping you moving through them. There's not that much space.
So I won't be able to hit the priest?
Not from there, no. Essentially, you've got... Those three lurks are currently effectively blocking your route towards them, unless you wanted to try and barge past them, but that would mean a multi-action.
Right, well, could I move there?
Where's there?
Oh, I hadn't dragged it there.
Same problem you got there, because that's actually a pillar, floor to ceiling.
Oh, right. Well, I'm just going to hit the lurks then.
Okay.
Both of them double action target, multi-target thing.
So you're going to do a multi-target, so you're at -2 on everything, and the same damage applies to both.
Yeah. And I'm going to play my hero card. No, I mean,
Okay.
Possibility. Well, same difference, but...
Yeah, but it just doesn't come off your total, that's all. Okay, so it's a 3.
Oh, that's bad.
And you roll again. That's 10.
Well, still 13.
Yeah, that's a bonus number of 1.
1, 2, so that's 12.
Does that include the -2s? It's a 10, really, isn't it?
10, yeah.
Yeah. They're unarmed. That's just enough. It's only by 1, though. So what's your damage?
Damage is 10.
Okay, their toughness is that. So you're doing another 2 shock to lurk 3 and a couple of shock to lurk 8.
And I think they become stymied.
Because of your particular mace stymies on a hit. Who the person can keep a card up? What does that mean?
Who's the person that can keep that time for an action?
You
card up?
need to have, I think it's inspiration or something like that.
Yeah,
it's a
one of the
particular card.
cards.
But I thought one of us had that.
Badger, you get the willpower card for your successful attack.
Okay.
Who's after Constable Caudry? So Sean's gone, Constable Caudry's gone. The Larkins?
I will
Okay.
try to hit Lark 2 again.
Go, love. Go, love.
Jeez, I used the possibility. Come on,
That's
my
a
god.
16. That's a bonus number of 3.
It's 3, so that means Dex is 8, it's 11, it's 12.
Which is 5 higher than his defense. So you get a bonus die on damage.
Alright. It's a 1. So I do 1 plus 6 strength, 7 plus 2 is 9.
So 9, that's equal to his toughness. Which I think is still... That's 2 shock rather than no shock. Good, so that was lurk number 2.
Okay, then I play the flurry card.
You'll get a go at the end.
I'll
then.
go afterwards.
At the end. Okay, but I play.
By the way, this is a different action. So have a hero card. The flurry is, in all cases, it's another action. So it doesn't matter if you've already attacked once this round, you'll attack again, essentially a different action, you get the card again. So you just got the hero card, and you can play another card into your pool. Everyone can do that, by the way. If you've done an action this round, you can play a card into your pool. So you should have been able to do 2 so far. Anyone that's had their second action.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Chris is going after Pat.
Yep. Can I step forward one into that little gap and try and hit as many as I can?
You can, but I forgot to roll for Constable Cordy's move.
Can
Okay.
I do something before you, Mr. Chrissy?
No!
Okay.
And Chris, you're moving into an as yet undetermined space. Thank you.
I want to hit them all 4 of them. So it's going to be minus
You're
6.
going to try the Priest of Corbar, Lurk 9, Lurk 7, and Lurk 2.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing a right swing round.
Okay.
But an all-out attack again, so I can try and use my bonus if needs be.
So you're at minus.
So it's minus 6 plus 4. Is that right?
Yep.
But then the priest is at plus 4.
The priest is very vulnerable, so he's got a lower defense essentially.
All right, so I'm at minus 2 at the moment. That's all right.
Good roll.
I will use. Hang on, wait a minute.
You're currently
Let
getting a
me-
bonus of
let-
5.
Let
onto
me
your
put it in my
melee
head.
weapon.
Is that what that gives me? 5.
Yep.
So that's 3. Bonus of 3. 1, 2, 3. So 14. So that's enough to do a bonus dice.
That does a bonus die to every lurk. 14, you say, yeah?
If it was 17, would that give me 2 bonus die?
14, well, it would on the lurks, yes.
Go on, let's do that.
14 on the priest. His unarmed is essentially 5, and it would give you 2 bonus dice on the priest as well.
Right, I'm gonna play me alertness. Is it that gives me plus 3?
Action would give you plus 3.
Action then. Oh yeah, alertness isn't my pool. Action, I'll play.
Okay.
So I get 2 bonus dice against all of them,
Yes, you do.
and it's the same bonus dice. Is that right? I just rolled
Yep.
2 dice.
Yep, just roll 2d and add it to all of them.
How much am I doing? Where is it? There, plus 4. Strength is 11, so 15 plus this. I can re-roll that. Yay!
You can for trademark weapon.
About time that flipping thing came up. Oh, well, still slightly better.
Okay, so you're on 17 so far, and roll your second dice.
22 damage against all 4 of them.
Whop. Thwop. Thwop. Thwop.
I'll let
Let the
mighty
bodies
roar.
hit the floor. And you get another action card.
Yeah.
Who's feeling emaciated or emasculated, sorry, after Chris's bravado outburst and wants to go next?
Well, I should go next.
Told you I didn't want you to go before me.
I look at my husband with great eyes.
I will. I'm thinking about
Yeah, I'm
big
thinking-
eyes.
Yeah, I'm getting laid tonight.
fireball on Chris, but I'll change my mind. I want to cast the fireball on to hit 7, lurk 8, and lurk 10. That area. I don't know how many. I can't, the size of this thing's weird. Medium blast things. Fireball.
Yeah, it's just essentially you are targeting. Who are you targeting? Lurk 8 or Lurk 10 or the priest?
Well, it's a fireball, so I'm trying to get all of them. Since it's a circle, I'm going to aim for the center at the bottom and get them all in that big gap.
So the priest. Okay.
Okay, here we go. It's dodge or dex for each of them.
Well,
Possibility. It's 19.
so 19, bonus number of 6.
That's 20.
Yeah, that's going to hit all 3.
Okay, that's 14 damage if there's no extra.
That one's on a 9. You're going to do 2 bonus dice of damage on that one because the priest is very vulnerable, which puts him at a 5. So yeah, 2 bonus dice. That's an extra 9 onto your damage.
23 for that one then.
They get blasted. Constable Caudry, you get a bit of a searing on your face, but no particular issues.
Yeah.
Jamie,
I get a card.
you don't because you cast. I don't know. Yeah, all right. Then I'll let that be an attack for now.
I thought spells were attacks.
Well, so it's an attack spell because you've melee weapons, missile weapons. Yep, you're right. You get away with that one. Master plan. That's the one that you let you, but unfortunately, it's not in your pool. So
Let's see what it does to me.
that's the one that lets you pick up any card just played or discarded in exchange for that one. Although that's
That would have been
not
good.
the initiative card. That's the actual used card. Kerry, what's Jamie doing? This is the last one in this combat round.
I'm going to
the
try and
last.
dispatch this lurk.
Okay.
Minus because it's outnumbered.
No.
They're flanked.
Nope. I don't think so. If somebody was helping you, you would do, but there's no flanking or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think, is that lurk? What lurk number is that? That's lurk number 3, and he's just got some shock. He hasn't got any particular effects on him at the moment. Oh, and then Pat's got another action afterwards for her flurry.
5 is what is that?
That's a -4.
A 7.
7. No, their unarmed combat is a 9. So you bring the sword up again, but it's ready for you this time. And Pat's flurry.
All right, I'm stepping forward to lurk number 12.
I think you're stepping where the lurks have been, and you need to roll a d20, not a d12.
Oh. Oh. I used possibility.
Yeah, you're not doing anything that's illegal for this area, so there's no mishaps or anything like that.
Oh my god.
Well, it's an 11. It's your bonus
it's
number of 0.
But that's not enough. It's a 0, and then I'm on 9.
You could use second chance.
True that. Comes the second chance. This is a reroll, right?
Immediately reattempt
Yeah.
any action. Takes place of the failed one.
17.
Does his possibility not count?
I believe the possibility still counts as having been spent.
Okay.
But he doesn't get the bonus 10 to it.
Well, no, because essentially it replaces the action. So the action was a 1 followed by a possibility that failed. Second chance, roll again.
All right. So 17 is 4, and 8 is 12. 13.
13 definitely hit. Isn't enough to get a bonus dice, though.
So that's 6 plus 2, 8 damage. Wait. I totally forgot. And righteousness plus 2 damage. When battling supernatural evil creatures.
That is correct. So that's instead of the damage you're doing
It's 10 damage.
10 damage, which is enough to exceed his toughness. Not by enough to actually do wounds, but you're doing 2 shock rather than 1 shock. And you can play another card from your hand into your pool. And you get coup de grace for doing the approved action of attack. You guys don't know how good it was getting that flurry in the first combat round. Because this bad guy gets more powerful the longer it takes you to get to him. So, 1 round. Closer to victory.
Hey, very apt.
Heroes go first, villains go second, and maneuver is the approved action. Pat, from your vantage point, you can see with a little more clarity the 9 captives at the back. They are all indeed manacled. You can see a chain running from the left pillar. We can't about see the pillar where the blonde woman's standing. And it goes and it's anchored to the statue, and then there's another chain going from the statue to the right-hand pillar. And everybody's manacles are attached to that chain.
Does the chain look very solid, or can I perhaps smash it with the mace?
You think that breaking them, they could be broken with a heroic effort. So something probably your husband could do, you less likely. Not impossible, just less likely.
So impossible.
No, just less likely.
So impossible.
You'd have to get a bonus. You'd have to roll a 41 to a 45 on the dice to get a high enough bonus number.
Go for it.
45, okay.
Do it. Do it.
For Kerry's benefit, just so I don't have to repeat it later, a standard lockpicking test opens a set of manacles.
Oh, there we go. Leave it to Kerry. Standard compared to a 45 that you would need.
There do appear to be the chains themselves are locked with larger padlocks to the statue itself as well. So you could either unlock lots of people in one go, but then there's stuff manacles on, or do individual manacles, or whatever else you want. So who's going first after that? Interrupt. Low.
So it wouldn't be possible for me to hit the priest number 8, right? Because the sort of one's in the way.
You might be able to just squeeze in, because essentially your weapon's got a little bit of reach. So if you assume you're standing there, but you're actually standing there, and you can just strike out toward the priest in that direction. There's enough there for you to be stood against the barrier.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to try a. Are they still very stymied? I mean, vulnerable.
Are they? Or yeah, the priest is. Yeah.
Yeah.
The lurk isn't, but the priest is.
Okay. Well, I'm going to target both of them and do a double action where I first do a maneuver on both of them and then a melee attack.
Oh, you're trying to do a multi-action, many-action.
Yeah.
Those minuses stack.
So, well, it would still be just -4 though, won't it?
Well, no, because you'll be at a -2 for the first action.
Yeah.
A -2 for the second action.
Yeah.
A -2 for attacking 2 people on the first action, and a -2 for attacking 2 people on the second action. So you'd be at -8 in total.
Yeah, okay, that's a bit much. I think I'm just going to attack the priest then.
But you're gonna do a maneuver and an attack, still, or just attack him?
Well, I mean, what's okay? I'm gonna. I think I'm going to maneuver the lurk, and then attack priest. Yeah, because I won't get any bonus for attack for like making him even more vulnerable. So.
Yeah, so you're going to be multi-action, but only doing one thing.
Yeah.
So -2. Yeah, I think that's doable. We'll just do that. -2, just for now.
Yeah, and I'm going to play the hero card.
It's still only one bonus number, but
Yeah.
Okay, so roll the dice. So that's a 5. Roll again for your hero card. It's a 22. So it's a bonus number of 7, overall 5.
7. So
So
So,
5 with your maneuver versus lurk, 4, and then 5 plus your melee weapons.
so maneuver is 10, and melee is 11.
So it's 15 and 16, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, 15 maneuver, you're getting... Do you want to make him very stymied, very vulnerable, or vulnerable and stymied?
Very vulnerable. No, very stymied.
Okay. Stymied. And your 16 versus the Priest of Korba Arl, taking into account his additional vulnerability. That gives you... That'll give you 2, 4 off of his unarmed combat. Gives him a 7. You got a 16, didn't you?
Yep.
You get 1 bonus dice. You're 9 over. But you still hit him. But only 1 bonus dice of damage.
Oh, so that's 14.
Okay, 14 on his toughness, however, is more than 5 over his toughness, which means he takes a wound and goes down. And you get a card for your maneuver. Coup de grace. Who's next?
I'll take a shot. Someone stands in the way.
Can you shoot through that hoop, that circle?
Come on, shoot through the circle.
Just trying to think if you actually shot through it. Just thinking. Sorry.
He hasn't, yeah.
I don't think you have as yet. 'cause
Sean
it's this
has
side,
not
isn't it?
attempted to shoot through it. There's already been someone on that square. Oh, I didn't roll for Badger's square.
I'm going to step.
Okay.
Step here.
Yep.
I'll try and shoot number 6, and I'm going to remember the double tap this time.
Right, you're going to have to, if you're taking into account your line of sight to him here is clearly blocked by the wibbly wobbly power circle of that orange, so you'd have to step 1 more to get line of sight, or you could go all the way over there.
I'll get there.
All the way over there is probably better. Yeah, you've got a line of sight on him now.
And I'll double tap. That gives me a +1 somewhere.
It does
Not
give
sure
you a
where it goes.
+1. It adds to your bonus number. So you roll your die, work out your bonus number, then add 1 to that. Well, roll again and add.
Nice.
32. So that's a 10. Double tap gives you a +1.
That's 11.
So add that to your fire combat.
My fire combat is 13.
24.
No, it's not. It's 12.
22.
23.
23. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
it's more than 10 over his dodge, which is 9.
Okay.
So you're rolling 2 bonus dice. However, I can tell you right now, as his toughness is 7, he only has 1 wound, and your basic damage is 15. You kill him with the satisfaction of knowing you didn't have to add those numbers together.
That's always a plus.
That'll do.
Very good. Cool.
Okay, who's after Sean's
Go on. I'm gonna
shot?
have a go at trying to take out those last 2. However, I'm going to be stepping on spaces.
Okay, I need you to tell me. I need you to go step by step.
Can I step on this space here?
Yes,
Where the priest was.
you can move through that. Yes,
So presumably I can't go right from there now.
you
into
can't.
it.
You can only go up.
Right, so I'll go there where the priest was.
Yeah.
And up 1.
Okay.
Off. Then you can go diagonally, can't you?
You can.
Where was the priest that you just killed?
You can't remember. You weren't paying attention.
I'll go there. No, I can now. But he was between squares, wasn't he? Not on a square. And then to that one. I'm pushing my luck here. Am I okay?
Yeah. I'll tell you when you're not, or if you're not.
And then lastly, there.
Right. That would have meant you had to pass through that one
Okay.
to get to that one.
Oh, but it's on a diagonal, no?
That's all right.
That's all right. We'll do it. It's all right. Everything's
You
cool.
need to. Hang on, I've lost it. Do. Okay, give me a dex find test first of all.
Damn it.
Bye.
So close. One too far. Find. +2 comes off mind 9. 11 gives me 0. Damn it.
Right.
Might do a.
Oh, tell me what you're doing.
Yeah, I will. I don't want to risk it. I'm going to use a possibility.
Okay.
Oh, 20. Do I roll again or not?
You do.
No.
Get a 60. Get a 60.
21. That doesn't count as a 10.
Right. You step onto that square and you feel just a very slight movement under your foot as you push forward and land sort of at the halfway point here. You are fully aware that there is a partially triggered trapdoor on that square. You moved quick enough off of the square that you didn't open it.
Oh. I think I may have released a load onto it as well.
Possibly.
Right. Me normal. Hit them both. And all-out attack.
Okay,
Just
I'm going to
in
give
case
you
I
an
need the bonus.
additional -2 because of your circumstances as a result of the trapdoor.
Okay, so it's -4, +4, but they're also very stymied.
Yeah.
Yeah, -4, +4. Oh, I thought it was a 1. Right, no, 18.
It's mostly trap at the moment and less door. Answering Badger's comment.
It's 18.
It's a lot less door right now.
That is melee weapon is 3, 14, 19.
Okay.
But they're very stymied as well.
So that gives them, your their unarmed combat is a 5 versus you at the moment.
Right.
So 2 bonus dice of damage.
That is 7, so it's 11, 22.
Swing and a thud. Swing and a thud.
Anything happen? Yes.
The Whomming energy field collapses. The figure in the middle moves for the first time.
Uh-oh.
All yours, people. All yours.
I could have had so much more. He rages. Doesn't move yet. That's how the way the combat works.
I cast my
You
lightning
could
bolt at him.
have. You're right. You're not, though.
So did I hear there's a lightning bolt coming this way?
A lightning bolt's coming. I'm going to say to him, all your mages died. Have some shock. He's brilliant at these jokes. He plans them so well in the head. Right, here we go. Boom! Oh my god, no.
Mishap.
And we know what happens. Guess he's getting zapped.
Please apply your own damage +2
16.
to yourself.
Oh no, it's not 14. It isn't 14. This is lightning bolt. This is different.
Yes. And it
This is
ignores armor.
Yeah, 6. I don't have armor. So
Well, they're lucky for
16,
you then.
18.
Against your toughness, your own
Yeah,
toughness.
my toughness is only 6. So,
So that's 12 result points.
Yep.
That would be
Oh dear.
2 wounds and 4 shock. Do you wish to attempt to soak that?
Oh, yeah. Bring my-
Okay.
back up.
Have you got a possibility to spend?
Oh, yeah, I've got 2. Right, 1 to spend. My reality is... Oh, God. I keep on losing the pages.
Good job you made that comment before you zapped that
Well.
lightning bolt.
That's why it happened, because I made that comment. Like, whoever Dark God he was said, oh, I didn't like that joke.
You can spend a possibility to
On
that roll.
I'm going to spend a possibility on that roll because it's so
terrible. That's 21.
21.
Bonus
Phew.
number of 8.
I said, what did I say? 12. So it's 20.
Okay, so if you remember, you've got to get at least a 10. If you get a 10, you reduce it by 1 shock and 2 wounds. 1 wound and 2 shock, sorry. If it's a 15, you reduce it by 2 wounds and 4 shock. If you get a 20, you soak all the damage.
Yay, it didn't hurt me. Woo!
Well done.
Lost 2
Your pride.
possibilities.
Look, we just don't mention the
And failed to
possibilities
turn.
because they don't
Is
exist.
there anybody else on your side that has yet to have a go this round?
I get to copy a card across, don't I? Still.
Jamie, I believe.
Pat?
Still. Yeah, you
Yeah.
get to put, and Pat as well. Pat and
Yeah.
Jamie.
I
Well
was
done.
intending to unlock the chains.
I'll just go for the
You
one in
need to
front
get
of
there, I'm
me
afraid,
again.
first, Jamie.
Walk through all the
Try and
traps.
step in my steps. Step in the steps I went in.
Yeah, especially the trap
Apart
step.
from that last one.
Yeah, apart from the last one. I will
Bonus
make it
number of
obvious if
1,
anyone
Alexander.
comes near me.
10, that's a hit. You're flailing
10
at level
damage.
12, so that's still another 2 shock. You're beating him viciously about the face and torso.
Oh, wait. Then I use the card Coup de Grace
Which does.
on as wait. what
Extra
is it?
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Die.
Play to add a bonus die to your damage of your successful attack. May be played after rolling other bonus die and seeing the results. So you had a 10. So roll the 1d6 and add that to your 10.
Oh, come on.
Might actually kill it.
Change my dice color again.
Come on, spaghetti arms.
Yeah, I was rolling like 10 times and it didn't recognize it. So 3. So 13.
Which is 5 over, is toughness.
Yay!
And 5 is the point you need to get to in order to do 1 wound. You continue to beat him viciously about the head and torso, and something snaps, and the lurk goes down. Jamie.
And then
I'm
I
going to rush
move.
across the room to the.
No, follow my footsteps round the circle.
Okay,
Don't
Jamie,
rush across.
tell me where you're moving.
I'm moving in a straight line, and I'm going to jump the last
Oh
2
no!
squares.
Wait a minute. Pat's moving
No, Pat's
for
moved.
some reason.
Oh, hang on. I need to do Pat.
well,
Testing. He's just testing squares out for Jamie.
No, hang on.
How far
One.
can I jump?
I kill him and then I'm
Two.
moving towards the people.
But he has to check every square, so.
In case you fall through a trap.
No.
Can you
What's
tell me
up, it might
which
be?
square you were just in, because you're half in at the moment? Okay, yep, that's fine.
Don't go on the one on the right.
Okay, Jamie, just so you know, you've got padlocks on the pillars, on the individual manacles, or on where the chain is attached to the statue. Which padlocks are you heading towards?
You're not going to kill the
No,
lurk
where
right
the-
beside you.
Where the chain is attached to the statue.
Okay, so you're heading straight down the middle. Okay,
Straight for the
move yourself
girl.
square at a time.
Oh, bye bye. You're not a character we'll see again in our version. No, roll.
Okay, first one. Second one. Third one. Keep moving. Yep, I get it. Fourth one's fine, somebody else has already stood there. Fifth one's fine, somebody else has already stood there.
I went there. Don't go forward.
Can I jump the
Don't
square?
go forward. Right.
If you want to, you can give me a...
Would
Let's
this
have
class
a
as
see.
a maneuver?
Yeah, you can make a dexterity roll, or you could use your maneuver if you wanted to, but it does mean whatever you do after this, you can essentially be at a -2. It's up to you what you want to do. You can spend a possibility on it.
Yeah, I'll spend possibility.
You don't want to fall. However, it's a maneuver, so you get a card for this.
Yeah, I'll give that. Yep. Okay, you manage to deftly leap over that meter, getting a supporter card into the process, and you're now you'd have to step one further. You have to be under the dagger essentially to get to the. Okay, and you can now, if you want to, you can attempt a lockpick.
Yep.
At -2, and that is difficulty number 12 for those ones.
So 11 plus whatever that bonus is.
You got a 16. That's a 3.
What's your lockpicks or your decks?
I think that's probably enough, isn't it? Even with the -2.
Yeah, -2. So
So a +1
11.
overall.
Oh.
What's your lock picking? Did you put it up, or have you got the standard?
No, it's 11. No, it's 12.
Oh, 12 total.
Yeah.
Okay, that is enough. You manage to disconnect the chain from one side of the statue, and the captives, realizing what you've done. And by the way, as the ritual stopped, their color appears to have returned to their faces. One of them, they start literally just like pulling their manacles off where they're attached. So they're still manacled by the hands, but the manacles are no longer attached to the chain. So everybody to the left of Amelia is essentially free at this point.
Don't let them move.
Yeah, are they cognizant? Have they been watching what's going on?
They appear to be cognizant now. They were probably a little bit out of it before, especially because they were in the midst of having their life energy drained from them. But they're alert now.
So I can say, careful where you step. Some of these, the floor may give way.
They nod, but they're not risking moving yet because they can see that Antonok is still up and about, and it's his go. He intones some mystical words, and he actually intones 2 lots of mystical words actually, and he spends a possibility. So he gets a 41, which is a bonus number of 12 onto his spell casting as he proceeds to cast Shield and Possibility Rend.
I'm sorry.
You're going to go, opponent fails.
Yeah.
He fails to do that then. That's the problem with the cards. But he did spend the possibility though. So he now only has 3. And he will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there.
Oh, thanks very much. That's nice.
That lurk leaps for Bell
None of these kill him for.
and misses.
Oh, good.
That lurk leaps at Chris and misses, because I know what your effects are. And lurk number 4 strikes out at Constable Caudry. He is currently stymied, so he's 2 points lower on everything, and also misses. And we advance the combat round. Showdown. Heroes go first.
Yes.
Villains go second.
We got this kid, guys. Come on.
Does anyone want to trick this guy before he lightning bolt him? He's probably going to use a possibility, though.
That's right. Let's get him to use his possibilities. We need him to use them.
Yes, you do. And if you'd taken longer to take out all the priests, he would have had more of them.
Oh, he's probably only got 2 then.
He's got 3.
Yeah, I said
No.
so about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
He's used one of them, though. So
No, he.
That's why he only has
three.
3 now.
Oh, 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I'm trying to feed into this. They advise you to be transparent with what the villains have or can do. Don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm giving it a try. Who's going first?
Does anyone want to trick it, like you say?
Is anyone good at that? I'm not.
No.
I'll just cast the
Smash
spell.
its face.
I'll just do the spell.
Go for it.
Just getting a lightning bolt in the face.
Yes.
Good roll.
Come on.
Not so good on the follow-up.
Still 23, which
It's
is
a bonus number of 8.
8 plus. That's 22.
22 exceeds his mind or willpower, or spirit or willpower, whichever one it needed.
Lightning bolt is dodge or dex.
Well, it still exceeds it. What did you get? A 22?
Yep.
You have 2 bonus damage dice.
Okay. That's 21 and ignores 4 points of armor. This is where you do reality, isn't it?
Really? It does a 16 off the bat.
Yep. That's why it nearly killed me.
Right. So was it 21 damage?
Yeah, 21 damage and.
Hang on, I've lost his stats. Got too many screens open. 21 damage versus his toughness. That's 12. 12 will be 2 wounds and 4 shock. He is going to spend a possibility.
Never seen this armor thing though yet. Is it added under toughness or something?
That's a bonus number of 4 onto his reality skill, giving him a 17, which is enough to get rid of 2 wounds and 4 shock.
It's a pity I didn't have another one of them cards.
We've got rid of another.
You have? Who's going after? Lightning coruscates over the emaciated but tall high priest's form. It just seems to outstretch his hands, and the lightning energy just dissipates into the ground at his feet.
Can I charge in?
You can. You'd have to cross over areas of previously Yeah, you can do what you want.
No, I don't have to, because I can go round and then straight down.
Can't really charge then, but okay, there's no charge momentum.
No,
but yeah.
but I can. So I'd go. And then thingy went all over straight down there, didn't they?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. 8. There we go.
I just realised I could have been really mean with that lightning bolt. Firing into a melee
Against yourself. Yeah.
against yourself. I don't think that's really what the spirit of the rule, though.
Would have been funny though.
Yes, it would. Especially
I
since...
will-
No, but he rolled even.
I will attempt.
Oh, no, he didn't. He rolled odd. Because 23. It's the total, not the single roll. But anyway, go for it.
I will attempt to do all-out attack again, see if I can get my bonus dice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Just attack the one target this time.
Ten. Roll again and add. That's a 16. So that's a
I'll
plus
use-
3.
I will use a possibility.
You may use a possibility.
Yes.
That's 35. It's a bonus number of 10.
That gives me 24. Yeah, 24.
His melee weapons is 12. So you get more than 10 over his melee weapon.
Right, so it's 2 bonus plus my extra bonus now.
You're spending
3
shock
bonus.
for your...
I will be spending shock because
Okay.
the more that there's not a maximum you can do damage, is there?
There is. You only ever get 2 bonus die,
Oh.
but you don't necessarily know what this guy's toughness is, so it's up to you.
Is there a maximum number of wounds you can do?
No, that goes up and up and up.
Right. So I did my 3 and a third extra bonus die. It's not wasted if I happen to roll.
No, because you can go 20 over, you get 4 wounds, 25 over, 5 wounds, 30 over, 6 wounds, and so on.
Use me 3 wounds, 3 shock. Roll that one again.
So
Roll that one again.
So 5 and a 2, and a 4. So an 11.
11. So 25.
Okay, 25 off of his toughness.
No, 26. Sorry.
Okay, 26 off of his toughness. Or 26 versus that. That's I need to double check the spell. It's 17 at the moment, but he has a shield spell up.
I thought he'd stopped it.
Oh, no, he did stop it, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good point. Well done, yeah. It wouldn't have helped anyway, because that adds to the defenses, not to the... Adds to the to hit, not to the soak of damage. So, that is 3 wounds and 6 shock.
Come on.
Do you know,
Fail.
guys?
Yeah,
I
He's
wish I could
spending a
actually-
possibility.
wish I could go back in time. That's all I'm going to say now, because I could have actually.
Damn it. I was hoping you'd roll a 1.
He's also going to spend a possibility on that roll.
Oh, that's both of his possibilities gone now. All of them
That's a
gone.
24. That gives him bonus number of 8.
Can I ask
To
a
his
question?
reality skill of 12, gives him a 20. He soaks the damage.
Okay.
Oh,
John, can I ask you a
just-
question?
You can.
Can you play a card out of your turn?
Is it in your pool?
Yep.
Then depends on the card.
Master plan. And I want to take back the thing that makes him spell not work. I played that this turn, didn't I?
I believe you did. Yep. So you've got the opponent fails back, yeah?
Yeah, and I use it.
Well, no, you can't, because you can't put it back in your pool, can you? You put it in your hand.
Master
I think
plan.
Master Plan puts it in your hand.
This actually, Master Plan's the only card I don't know. I have to look it up. I know what it does. Recover card, either replace Master Plan in your action pool or go straight into your hand.
You may play the new card immediately.
Immediately.
What are you playing it on? Because he hasn't done an action. You can't make him fail a reality check on soak. You can't interfere with soak. But you have got your Master Plan. You haven't got the opponent fails back, which is still a very good card to have.
Okay, I didn't understand.
And we've got rid of all his possibilities now.
You
Didn't
believe
know
you
that.
have, yes.
Oh,
What-
do you really believe it?
Yeah, you have.
Sorry, what was the name of that card
Don't
again?
be
I forgot
cheeky.
the name of it.
Opponent fails.
Thank you.
Who's going after Chris?
I could do that, but I'm not sure if I can get to the guy, so Bell would have to maybe move back one step.
Bell's already had his go, unfortunately.
Yeah, but couldn't he still move though?
He's finished his action. He's finalised his action. Where could you get? What's your move?
10. So I can go
Yeah,
with-
because before we did have a lurk attacking Chris in melee when he was stood there.
Yep, I can go there.
Okay, so I'm going to try to.
There's a run action as well, isn't there?
Yeah, it just means you're at a -2 if you're running, because you can triple your movement and then it counts as an action in your turn, so giving you a -2.
Got a big hit here now. This is one that could take him out.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, if I want to kill him, maybe I can switch weapons. If I can do that.
Yeah, it's no problem as you're going past.
So I have the two-handed sword instead. Right, I'm gonna do. Wait, what was it? Maneuver? Yeah. I'm gonna do double action first. Maneuver against him, and then do a melee attack. And I'll spend.
So you're at -2 for the maneuver.
Yeah.
So you're two actions, so you're at -2.
Since I'm at the like this is going to an end, I'm gonna play both drama and spend the possibility.
Okay.
So
that's your main roll.
Yeah.
Now roll again for your drama card. That puts you at a 30. Roll again for your possibility. That puts you at a 40.
Yeah. I guess there's no point in spending even more now.
Well,
Unless anyone has a glory card.
You're a good roll away from a glory card if somebody has one.
Oh, I've got a glory card, yeah. Yeah.
You'd need a hero or something else that can give you a reroll because you can't spend another possibility or another drama card.
Yeah.
Wait, I think. Does hero work?
You can't play a hero on him, I'm afraid.
You have to play the other card. What's the one? Support card. I think that's the one.
Supporter wouldn't help in this
It
point
only
either.
adds
'Cause,
3 to their
you need the
overall.
roll to go over.
Okay.
But still, 40 is good. That's a bonus number of 11.
So
Should give you bonus dice. 2 bonus dice, hopefully.
yeah. So
Well, you were doing a maneuver first, weren't you?
yeah. So
I'm assuming you wanted to make him very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you most certainly make him very vulnerable. What's the additional player's call effect of this?
Who? Okay. Maybe I can say that.
Well, this was a maneuver, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and go ahead. I know what's going to happen on this.
Could I maybe make him fall into the pit?
That was what I was thinking.
Yeah. I want to do that, but as he's falling, I want to also have a swipe at him.
Yeah, no problem. That's the swipe.
See if
So
I can, chop it in half or something. Oh yeah, no, I already had rolled. Sorry.
Yeah.
Was that 40? Was it?
yeah, so your bonus number of 11 on your melee weapons with essentially give it a +4. Then I don't have to worry about mucking about with his stats.
Yeah. Okay. So how much do I roll?
So add 15 to your melee weapons.
15. So that is 26.
26 is more than 10 over his toughness, so roll 2 bonus dice for damage.
3 and 1. And I'm going to play coup de. Wait, no. Did I have that in the pool? Let's see. No, I didn't have coup de grace in the pool. So
Okay, 4 onto your damage.
that would be 14.
14.
Wait. Damage is 10. Yes, it was 14. No, wait,
Okay.
no, it's more. It's since I switched weapons, it's
Yep. Don't forget it's 2-handed sword. I think it's strength +3 or something. Might be +4.
+4, yeah. So that was met 18.
18, which is 9 more than his toughness, which does do wound, which is good. So basically, you stride over, and you perform this sort of pirouette with the sword, where you literally swipe out from under his feet. He jumps in the air, and as he goes to land, you bring the sword round as quickly as you can, and you just slam it flat of the blade into his back, essentially like popping him out like crab out of its shell, like a hermit crab out of its shell, and it pops out, and then you just, as he sort of like is falling forward, arms flailing down into the pit, you bring your sword down, and your sword goes straight through his left arm, and he disappears screaming into the dark pit beneath.
Woo!
Everything goes eerily quiet for a second,
He can fly.
and then the temple begins
Oh crap!
to shake. What is everyone doing at the instant the temple starts shaking?
I'm glad I'm near the stairs.
Who pulled the lever?
Run away!
Not me.
I'll shout, "Quick! Run!"
There's no other exit.
Not on that step though. There, right in front of you.
Right, just to speed things up at this point, I will tell
What
you,
about the peasants?
I apologise. There were only
Oh.
2 trapdoors in the entire place.
Yeah, just bricking it.
There was the one, and it was always that one. The rolls were just complete flam. It was always that one, because if somebody went to undo the padlock on the right-hand pillar, they would trigger that one, because it's in that square, and the one that Turek fell on. But I was having too much fun keeping the tension up.
It was good.
Meanie.
Okay, so you're yelling run. The issue you have is the temple starts to shake, and the remaining lurks just scarper. I mean, the edges out here, they're not walls, they're actually darkness, so they just run off into the darkness. However, you've got 5, including Amelia, 5 of the prisoners still chained to a chain.
Oh crap! Come on, Jamie, get your act together.
I
I've
tried
got
to
a feeling there's
assist.
no more trapdoors, Jamie. Come on, sort it out.
We still in combat? Can I use a card?
You can use a card. It's essentially out of combat, but 10 you can get a reroll on, don't forget.
Oh yeah. That's quite good.
That's a
Some-
24.
Yeah.
By the way, these aren't trapdoors.
But
These are bits of the floor literally collapsing.
Yeah, I'm trying to unlock the rest of the prisoners.
Running for it.
Okay, what's your total with the 24?
It's 20. 11 plus 8. 19.
Yeah. Okay. You manage to pop the lock. Pat assists, just dragging the chain as quick as you can out, and the remaining captives, looking to you for guidance, begin to follow you out. Bits of the ceiling fall down and crunch through the floor, opening yawning gaps into pitch black crevasse beneath you. But was that a
path near Constable Addison? That
No. It's just where I didn't entirely black out the map I was using for this. But the temple continues to shift and shake. The only way out at this point, as you can see, is up the stairs, which is hairy, but you all manage to get up to the floor above. As the last of you crests the top of the stairs, the 25-foot tall statue of the gaunt man collapses backwards and takes the stairs with it. And you've now just got the 30 or 40 feet to the entrance, which is still open. Thankfully, it hasn't reclosed. And you begin to just desperately clamber across the bridge with the Temple of Kor Baal just collapses behind you and disappears down into the pitch black darkness. You turn and you do a quick count, And you see, yeah, Amelia's there. The 9 captives still there, and each one of you, it seems, has been able to get themselves out of the collapsing temple.
Get across the bridge as well quickly.
Yeah, you're stood at the bridge, and the bridge is now just jutting out into darkness, but it's not attached to anything.
Whoa.
As you all turn, you see the other side of the bridge for the first time from this direction, and you can see that you still have handfuls of these vines hanging down in the darkness, and one section of the vines to your left begins to twitch and move.
Start backing away from it. Sword drawn just in case.
Okay, it's
Tries to
between you and the way out.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Can you blast it, Bell?
Blast what, sorry?
The vines. Bit of fire on there will probably help him.
Was the
There's a
vines not the thing that was
there's-
holding us up in the first place?
Yeah, and then now
There were
twitched
vines holding it
towards-
up, but you can see there are vines hanging down out of the darkness, and one particular cluster's begun to twitch.
Is it perhaps
Okay.
a Gospel thing? No.
Well, I don't know whether to cast a lightning bolt if it's a one creature up there, or a fireball to burn the vines. So,
Fire will probably burn it.
Your
better
hesitation lends just enough time for you to see the first evidence of whatever it is, whatever horror it is that is clambering up the vine. As a gauntleted hand grabs the vine, and then a second one grabs the edge of the bridge, and Turek pulls
Yeah.
herself back up onto the bridge.
than.
aren't you glad I didn't burn that vine?
No.
What do you mean you're about to burn the
Well,
vine?
They told me to burn the vine, and I just thought no.
Well, in
They
Dunab's
saved you.
name, I'm glad you didn't. And as everyone just is gasping for breath, the surviving captives profusely thanking you. One is the Dwarven Seeker that Turek was looking for, and they embrace. There is an elf that you didn't notice amongst their number as well, but the rest of them are people taken from London. Amelia breaks up the conversation as she just walks over to Jamie. Miss Thacker, can we go now?
Yes. School's over for today.
Well, the way back out is easier than the way down. Within an hour of climbing, everyone is back up at the museum. Amelia just seemed to know an easier way. She took a different route than the one you took. Once you actually get to a point where there are changes, you don't go back through the Nicobrid room. She takes you back through some very shallow tunnels that were quite easy. If asked how she knew her way to get back up, she just shrugs and replies, "I just knew." In the following weeks, attacks from both above and below continue to ravage the country of England and London. The most stable pockets of resistance form around recognisable landmarks in the capital: Big Ben, the Palace of Westminster, Buckingham Palace, and even the National Gallery, along with anywhere that you, Storm Knights, choose to take a stand. Resistance springs up. Allies from Aysle have begun to appear in increasing numbers to reinforce the troops fighting the High Lord Arthurian's minions. A mighty hero of Aysle, thought to be dead for many centuries, returns in the form of Tolwyn, the paladin of House Tancred. Revelatory news that the ruler of Aysle for these past 400-500 years, Lady Pella Ardenay, was actually possessed by the spirit of Angar Uthurian, that spirit now having been excised from her body. And that sends shockwaves through these new partners and allies. Weeks later, you're still in London, helping out where you can. Chris and Pat, you've been keeping an eye on the news from back home, and unfortunately no opportunity to return stateside has made itself clear because none of the airports are working. Which is why it's quite strange when, whatever you're doing, you hear jet engine. A rare sound on the British Isles now, as a tilt-winged aircraft comes to a landing and an older man in combat fatigues emerges. He appraises your group and introduces himself in a gruff voice. My name's Quinn Sebastian and I'm with the Delphi Council. We're an organization dedicated to kicking the High Lords off the Earth. Not just here, but everywhere. To do that, we're going to need heroes. We're going to need the best. I'm looking for a bunch of Storm Knights who have among their number someone who one-shotted a dragon. Know anyone like that?
That'll
I
be me.
think I saw them leave just half an hour ago.
And then that's where we end that one. Well done.
Yay.
Hey!
Yay.
Woo woo!
Yeah,
Good
just to let you know, there were no additional trapdoors, just to repeat that, in the final room. There were just
Yeah.
the two.
Damn you.
And the cards were very lucky on you. Every single round it would have taken you to finish the priests off, stop the ritual, the main bad guy got an additional possibility. So you stopped it after one, so you only had 4. There was one group I read up, they took, I don't know how they took that long, but they took 9 rounds
Gosh.
to
Wow.
take everything down. So yes, their final bad guy had 12 possibilities.
They'll probably
Oh,
be
dear.
very careful doing everything, won't they? Rather than...
Yeah. And just to let you know, the bad guy had 3 spells. Shield, which you stopped him from getting up.
Yay.
Lightning Bolt, which you stopped him from, well, he would have used it, but the spell he was trying to cast alongside Shield was Possibility Rend.
Do you want to hear the bad news now?
What's the bad news?
They are errating that card I used, so it only works on things that affect you. They don't work on other people, so that card wouldn't have worked on him.
Oh, that's all right, because he was trying to Possibility Rend you.
Oh, okay, good. Would have worked then.
What was-
Phew. So what that did, that would have just automatically taken him out of the possibility thing. It would have.
Yeah, would have completely drained any remaining energy. Can't multi-target,
Oh.
thankfully.
That's a
So,
shame.
cool. Well done.
Awesome.
Very
Nice
cool.
one, John.
Thank you.
The reason they read that card was because the reason I was going to use it for the second one to stop him doing the
Doing it again.
check. No, the reality check. Because that's why they says, oh, that's too powerful. We're going to change this.
I might have the errated version of the card in the deck, actually. But it's an FAQ, I think they've done on that one. So,
Just did it in August.
What's next week?
well, if we're doing it I'll give you the choices now. We can either continue in the sequence or in the books. And I suspect, as the remaining ones are only single act ones, there's a good chance that you'll get through these in one evening.
So there's no leveling up or anything like that on these.
No leveling up on these ones.
Well, I think
The-
we're basically finished of what can happen in an Aysle land, so
Yeah,
better
so
to
we've
see
got-
what the other lands are.
Well, you've got Pan Pacifica, so we either head to Japan, and I
That's
believe
special forces, isn't it?
a certain someone did already call dibs on the creepy teenage girl,
Yep.
because there is a creepy teenage girl who is
Who's called
actually
them
who is actually psychic.
Black
So I think
long
that was you,
hair.
Badger. You wanted to
Can't
play
see his
Ayaka Kuroda, didn't you?
Anyway.
You have to stop calling dibs on people now, Badger. You seem to do that every time.
Ayaka isn't popular at her high school. She's considered creepy and doesn't get particularly good grades. She's had terrible nightmares for months, and the only image she can remember from them is a particular noodle machine in a shop alley. She's been searching for the location for weeks and has just found it. Her quote, "We're all going to die."
That sounds good.
So we're either going to head to Japan
Or Russia.
or Moscow after the bomb.
Mother Russia.
or the pyramids at Giza.
That would also fit.
That's-
I'm playing
that's France,
Assassin's
wasn't
Creed Origins at the moment.
The south of France.
Say for
Which
France?
Yeah, which I believe is actually, I mean, so it's a nighttime one, but it is actually the south of France.
I mean, what's the south of France? What,
That's the cyber papacy one.
oh, is it? Okay, okay.
Or India
India.
in the
Okay.
sticks.
That's the secret one, isn't it? India?
That's the one I'm from that he doesn't want anyone to see.
No, Pan Pacifica's the secret one.
It's the scary one. No, it's the horror one. Is the one that
Rorsch is the India
you
one.
want to leave as a mystery.
So I think we'll stick with Japan.
Cool.
So you're turning Japanese next week.
Oh, do we have to have that song on?
If I'm
Turning
here.
Japanese. Yes, I'm turning Japanese.
So you've got Ginny Inoue, who's a 20-something fashionista drawn to outfits with bright colours and patterns. Stay cheerful, that's her motto, which will liven up her otherwise dull receptionist job. She spent the day shopping and seeing what the youth are dressing up like this week, but first a hot bowl of tasty ramen. Juro Fukuzawa, he's a middle-aged, cynical and a bit flabby. He's also a tad lazy. He works as a security guard during the day, never needing the judo skills that made him a champion in his youth. He's off duty and stopping for some noodles on the way home. Kosuke Watanabe, Big Brother Ko is a dropout with authority issues. He takes it upon himself to look after the rest of his gang. The others are headed for a construction site near the Meiji Shrine, hoping to pilfer something cool. Ko stayed behind to check out a strange new girl who's caught his eye at the ramen machine.
Ooh.
Sun Hyung. Sun immigrated from North Korea over a decade ago and never speaks about why he left or what he did before coming to Japan. He's an affable man with many acquaintances but few friends. He owns a small day stall in the Harajuku. He's closed up for the night and needs to make a drop-off at the bank after a stop for some noodles for dinner. And Kiko Unishi. Kiko makes a meager living writing science fiction and fantasy stories. She spends all day at the Meiji Shrine contemplating if she should give up writing in favour of a boring but better paying corporate job. She popped over to the Harajuku to treat herself to dinner out and ended up settling for vending machine ramen.
Oh, my Japanese voice, brilliant.
You can all do as whatever Japanese voices you want to do. Again, the character genders can be switched. If you don't fancy playing a female character, by all means we can make it male. The only one I have to insist on is Ayaka Kuroda has to be the Japanese schoolgirl.
That's absolutely fine.
I can't do a Japanese female. You've got to be a bit angry being Japanese.
Then you've got to be Juro Fukuzawa or Kozuke Watanabe. They're two of the male ones. Or you've also got Kiku Unishi. No, that's a she as well. Oh wow, there's 4 and 3. Wow, 4 and 2 even.
I swear there must be Japanese names out there easy to say.
Well, you'll need to know that Kosuke Watanabe goes by Ko, Jin Inoue goes by Jinny, and the other ones are Sun, Kiku, and Ayaka, so they're not particularly difficult.
Is there going to be bad dubbing in it? So, a lip smooth.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Cool.
How do we get that across on
It isn't necessarily an aspect of the reality.
Oh, fair enough.
I tried with the bad dubbing. You just basically leave out the A's and all that stuff, you know.
Well, I think the easier thing would just to speak of the poor translation.
That should be easy enough to do.
Your base all belong me.
Yeah.
So Japanese is the next culture I'm insulting, is it, Mint?
Yep.
I might as well not leave anyone out,
Oh, don't worry. Once we get into the campaign proper, you'll be insulting cultures globally.
Fair enough.
Because you do tend to hop about a bit. So.
Well, we don't have to insult the English. They're already insulting.
Fair enough. I'm not. Insult everybody, especially the English. Damn English.
But I mean, you really like to do that to yourself, though.
Oh, he insults himself every night.
I do most of the time.
Wow, one of these guys has actually got martial arts.
What do you mean? I thought they all had. I thought it was like.
No, one of them has actually got a perk that is a martial arts perk.
All right. Okay. I found
the
out
one
that I always thought the
used to be.
Japanese all had like martial arts because they were all into that.
Okay, you're already offending them, and we're not even started.
We're not even
We're
there.
not even at that right week yet.
Yeah, but I thought it was like taught on their skills and stuff. It was
No.
like us
No.
going for
No.
big-
And they're
No.
all 3 foot tall, and they've got eyes that are like slits.
I'm going to shut the stream down before we all get
I
there.
think you're best. I think you're best. Donald Trump's in Asia at the moment. He might hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
The
nuke
ideas.
someone.
Oh, right.